The district leader, the Hebron Hawks, have gone 708 games since losing a regular season game. Tonight, the McKinney Lions look to send the high-flying Hawks to the ground. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hawk Stadium in the Carrollton, Plano, Louisville area. I'm Monty Walker, joined with Brandon Helms and Teddy Saffo, our field reporter. And Brandon, last week the Hebron Hawks really took it to McKinney North. We really were expecting a better game than what we got. And the McKinney Lions have to look at that game and go, well, we've got our work cut out for us, don't we?
Yeah, it was almost as if you saw McKinney North not playing up to what you'd seen a week earlier against McKinney. A lot of that may be factored into, being a letdown in the Crosstown Showdown. Maybe there's some other factors involved. You just don't know. However, you can expect McKinney's not going to have any of that tonight. They're going to come in ready to go. They had a very thrilling 21-14 win last week against Keller Central, which won in overtime. And at one point, they were trailing 14-0 in the fourth quarter, came back and tied it, got the final touchdown to do it in overtime. So they're coming off a pretty big win. They should be ready to go. And just watching them on practice, it looks like they're crisp, and they're led by quarterback Zane Alcorn, who last week had over 100 yards on the ground and in the air. And they're going to need another repeat performance like that today.
Let's talk about Hebron. They're 6-0 on the season, 3-0 in district. Their main weapon on offense is a guy, if you listened to our broadcast last week, you'll know, Derek Robinson on his way to the University of Texas, 94 carries, 777 yards, and 7 touchdowns. The number tonight is 7, but he wears number 6 on his back. He's 6 foot, 202-pound senior, and I guess that's the good thing for District 9 4A. I know there's realignment coming up, but Mr. Robinson's going to graduate. You won't see him next year, and that's a good thing. This will be the last time either McKinney team sees him, and he's really done some damage against the two McKinney teams in the past, and across 9-4A. He's done his damage to pretty much everybody.
Well, probably the most telling sign to gauge a running back's not how many yards he has, but the yards per carry, and that's 8.3 for this guy. So he gets big chunks every time he touches the ball, and we saw it last week. There wasn't a lot of losses at the line of scrimmage and behind. He was always moving forward, rarely going east to west, a lot of north to south, following his blockers. He's just a tremendous kid to watch.
The McKinney Lions are 2-4 on the season, 2-1 in district, looking to recapture some magic from last year. Last year's game, it was a great game up until the second half. McKinney and Hebron, it was a 14-7 game at the half. If you'll remember, Lorenzo Jones was thrown out of the football game for unsportsmanlike conduct. Him and Stephen Harris kind of got into a little argument right before the half. Jones had to leave. Harris got to stay. A lot of people were wondering about that decision, why Harris got to stay on the field. But in retrospect, it was a 24-10 Hebron win as they were able to score in the second half. Derek Robinson had a 2-yard run in the fourth quarter, and that pretty much sealed it for Hebron. Last year, rushing, Derek Robinson had 17 carries for 92 yards in this game, and that's something that is going to be the key to this football game. Last year, Hebron's a little bit different than last year. They had a big stand-up quarterback named Justin Petruka, who was a big, tall kid, could really throw the football. Last year had 200 yards passing in this game. He has graduated. They have now gone with their new junior quarterback, Brian Aubuchon. He will get most of the snaps, but at times will be spelled by their junior quarterback, Chris Miller, 6'4", 180 pounds. They both have pretty much split time at quarterback, but Aubuchon has come out lately as a leader at that position.
Yeah, if you look at last week's game, he played most of the first half. The backup Miller got a couple in there, a couple of series at the end. Then Aubuchon came out for the first couple of series in the third quarter, and after that it was all Miller. You look at Aubuchon, he's done some really good things. He's a very effective leader of this offense. He does a good job in effectively being the bus driver, and that's what you really need out of a quarterback. You don't need anything flashy. You just need a guy who's not going to make mistakes, who's just pretty much going to do what a quarterback needs to do. You look at him, he's 22 of 47, but of those 47 attempts, there's only 1 interception in the mix. That's combined with 7 touchdowns. In the meantime, he's got a decent ground production, 40 carries for 258 yards, and a couple touchdowns on the ground as well.
We will introduce to you for the first time tonight our field reporter standing at the 41-yard line, Teddy Saffo. Teddy, do you have some information about this stadium? I know we're getting kind of used to this place over here. We were here last week.
Yeah, of course, we were here last week, and the stadium, of course, the conditions are pretty much still the same. There are a few holes in this field, and this field, I don't want to say that it's not necessarily a bad field, but it's not the best Astro play surface that we've seen all season. But right now it's 82 degrees right now, of course, located here in Carrollton. And I was looking at this Hebron team, and you guys, after last week's win, they look like a very confident bunch. They were standing here dancing and just having a good time. But Coach McVay does have his McKinney Lions focused. I did ask him, well, what is it going to take to stop Derek Robinson? And he said, well, first off, we got to focus on tackling him. As you noticed that last week, the Bulldogs, well, they were arm tackling, they were throwing their bodies into the way of the runner. That did not work. He said that they need to wrap up because he knows it's going to take about 3 or 4 guys to tackle the guy, knowing that he's D1 back. And he said it's going to be a good test for his defense. But I'm interested to see how the Lions will respond in this game. Now that Wimbish is out, so we're going to see how it's going to be. So.
Now, Teddy, last week we almost needed a jacket. It was a little chilly over here. What's it like down there now?
Well, actually, it's pretty funny because, last week it was chilly. It was about 55 degrees last week by the time we left, but it's about 80 degrees right now, and it's a lot warmer than the weather we've had the last few weeks. So.
All right. Thanks a lot, Teddy Saffo, down on the sidelines. We'll talk to him in a few moments when we get closer to the game, and he has a coin toss for us. As right now we'll kick it back to the studio. We'll let you listen to the Senior Spotlight that's coming up. I believe we have a couple of nice seniors for you. And we'll take a quick timeout, and McKinney ISD football will continue in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Hawk Stadium in the Plano, Carrollton, Louisville area. You know, Hebron is a part of the Louisville ISD. It seems kind of strange being way out here in no man's land in the very corner of Carrollton and Plano. Matter of fact, I believe the location actually is in Plano, in the city of Plano, but right off of 121, kind of south of the Colony, here we are. And it is a gorgeous facility, relatively new. It was opened last year. Field turf, I don't know if that field turf is brand new. You know, Brandon, you had a chance to go down there, and you and Teddy were walking the field earlier in pregame, and you had some comments that it wasn't exactly the newest feeling kind of turf.
No, for supposedly brand new stadium, I think they probably brought in a used turf from somewhere because it's not the most evenest of surfaces for a field turf, and there's occasional holes, and if you especially get down really close to the numerals, you're going to see where they don't integrate well with the white and the green. So it seems as if this was on field somewhere else. And plus, if you look at the end zones, you can see the faint outline of a soccer stadium, and they don't play soccer at this field. So the fact that we have the soccer stadium across the way there. So it just, it's got its charms, if you will, but there's still some things that, really good stadium overall, but there are some things that need improvement.
Well, let's talk about the McKinney Lions, and their defense is going to really have to step it up tonight in order to win this football game. Brandon Ogletree comes into the game leading the team in solo tackles with 49. The 5'11", 215-pound linebacker, I think, is the key on that defense. He's going to really have to step it up, and along with other linebackers, J.D. Dowling and Adonis Graham, and I really believe that J.D. Dowling he might be out tonight. We'll have to check and see his situation if he actually does come in and play tonight. The captains are making their way to the field. Brandon Ogletree, as we mentioned, is one of them, standing at the 50-yard line as the Hebron Hawks come out. Derek Robinson and company. Tonight, the big story, I guess, for the McKinney Lions is their defense, and they come in at a plus 15 in the turnover ratio. They have stripped and tipped and received 22 turnovers, and they have only given up 7, so make it a plus 15 for the McKinney Lions.
And that's one of the weird things when you analyze this football team. More often than not, especially if you've got a plus 15, but if you turn the ball over and don't get as many turnovers back, you're going to lose. You're going to have a 2-3 type record. But McKinney's plus 15, and some reason they're 2-3. They are 2-1 in district, so that does play a factor. Actually, probably they're 2-4 for the year, not 2-3. So that makes it even more perplexing.
Well, the captains on the field for the Hebron Hawks as they make their way out. One is Ryan Leonard, the big defensive tackle. The other is Stephen Harris, you'll remember last year, and Derek Robinson, and also Max Blue. Max Blue's brother was a linebacker last year. Zane Alcorn will come out along with Adam Fairborn, Brandon Ogletree, and also for the Lions, Jared Thompson. Let's go down to Teddy Sefo.
McKinney, you're the visitor. You're going to call it? Call it loud enough for him to hear it. You tell me what he calls, okay? Call it in the air. Tails. What do he call? Tails. Tails, tails. It's heads. You want your option this half or the second half?
We would like to defer.
You want to defer, okay? You got it.
Hebron has won the toss. They defer to the second half.
The ball, which end you want to kick from? Okay, put your back there.
As you heard it right there, the McKinney Lions won the toss. Brandon Ogletree made the call. Actually, Hebron won the toss, and they have elected to defer. It was Ryan Leonard who made the call for the Hebron Hawks. Ryan Leonard is someone that the offensive line is going to have to deal with. Ryan Leonard, 6 foot, 270-pound senior, and he really brings it. So the McKinney Lions will start with the ball first. They will move right to left on the radio dial. We have about 6 minutes before kickoff. The Hebron Hawks are in their tunnel, and the McKinney Lions are making their way out. And I tell you what, the Hebron Hawks, once again, pretty intimidating uniforms. They come out in their black jerseys, and they have the black helmets, the black pants. Now, they are outlined in their blue underneath the sleeve. They have the white Toronto Blue Jay type numerals outlined in blue. And once again, very intimidating. And anytime you see a team dressed in all black, you got to say, wow, it looks pretty intimidating out there.
Yeah, the front and back of the jerseys look to be a black, but upon closer inspection, there's a lot of dark blue at the front, and so there's a dark colors, and you can see the vagueness of it. But because the whole thing is so dark, it's like the plague coming down upon you. And as you said, very intimidating.
Well, they have the black helmets and their logo, the H logo, which is kind of a silver and blue, outlined in dark blue, and their face masks are that royal blue color. And the McKinney Lions will come out in a moment. They have yet to make their way out to their tunnel that they will run through, the big helmet with the gold M on the side. They will come out tonight in their white road jerseys with the blue numerals outlined in gold. They have the blue pants and the yellow stripe underneath their arms, which run directly to the pants, kind of like the Denver Broncos. And here they come out ready to get in the tunnel there and make their way out to the field.
Yeah, some sharp jerseys by both sides tonight, but if you had to pick the intimidation factor, McKinney being the road team, there's not a lot of intimidation there.
One weapon that the Hebron Hawks possess is Colin Frank, their kicker. He is 23 out of 26 in extra points, 6 out of 7 in field goals, and he has kicked a 52-yarder, which is his long, and he was really booting 45-yarders in warm-up like it was a piece of cake.
Yeah, one of the things you'll notice about the kid is he doesn't have the ability to kick as accurately as he would like. And, you see that a lot at the high school level. He has missed three-point after touchdowns. But if you need a kicker, boy, this is probably one of the better ones in the district.
One thing that we have failed to mention so far is the fact that Chris Wimbish is injured, and that is the cog that makes the machine go for the McKinney offense. He is sidelined tonight. Remember, he was injured in the Crosstown Showdown, and we'll probably see a lot of Calvin Maxwell, who has 48 carries, 195 yards on the season, as here comes the Lions. Maxwell has 3 touchdowns to go with that 195 yards. Last week he had 49 yards on 18 carries and 2 touchdowns. We will also see an influx of A.J. Jones, the youngster coming up from the junior varsity. Played a little bit last week, had 6 carries for 16 yards. Also played a little bit in the opener against Fort Worth Western Hills. We'll see how he spells Calvin Maxwell a little bit tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be a big key right now, and especially more so with Wimbish out. You're going to have to get more production out of your quarterback like they had last week. If Alcorn has the ability to run the ball, then that will allow the Joneses and the Maxwells of this team to be able to get their yards as well.
Thank you for joining us on the Square One Mortgage pregame show. We're going to take a quick timeout as they prepare for the national anthem. We'll be back in a moment with more McKinney ISD football on 97.5 K-Lake FM.
Cadet Seaman recruit just.
And a gorgeous rendition of the national anthem played there by the Hebron Hawk marching band just to our left. Underneath us is, Brandon, we're in a nice press box. And one thing about Hawk Stadium is they did the press box right. If they put any money into this thing, they put it right here, and that's what we like. The comfort level here is pretty nice.
Yeah, you don't find a lot of these in the district. Northwest has a nice one. This one competes right there with it. One day when McKinney gets theirs remodeled and redone, this one wouldn't be a bad one to model.
Just about to get ready to tee it up for the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. Teddy Saffo down on the sidelines had a chance to talk to head coach Todd McVeigh a little bit. And if Teddy's roaming around down there, I don't even know where he's at, but if Teddy has some information that Coach Todd McVeigh told him earlier, we'd like to hear from him. And I don't think he's able to hear us.
I think he's being mobbed down there on the sideline. Not quite sure.
I think you're right. He was trying to hear. He's listening. I saw him. He was listening into the huddle there of the kickoff unit and trying to get some information there. As the kickoff return unit does come out for the McKinney Lions, Hebron has yet to show up on the kickoff team as they're huddling up down around their 35-yard line. Again, McKinney moving right to left. They will head towards McKinney, if you will. As a lot of fans made it up from McKinney on the far sidelines. Nice little crowd over there. On the near side, Hebron Hawks, they always have a big crowd, and you do when you haven't lost a regular season game for 708 days.
Yeah, and this is a big game in the district because there are two undefeated teams. Hebron's one, Frisco's another. Both of them will be taking on one of the McKinney squads tonight. And then there are three schools at 2-1, Northwest, McKinney, and McKinney North. So if McKinney can, take a victory here, they have an inside track to the playoffs.
Well, according to TexasFootballRatings.com, Louisville Hebron is picked to win this game by 22 points. McKinney Lions have a lot to say about that. There's a big game going on at McKinney ISD kicking off about right now with McKinney North and Frisco. That is a huge, huge District 9 4A game going on down there. I'd like to get updates if we can. Possibly somebody can give me a call. Here's the kickoff on the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's going to be taken at the 3-yard line by McKinney's Eddie Morgan. He is hit pretty hard at the 18-yard line, secures the ball, and goes down there. They'll mark him with forward progress to the 20. First down and 10 for the McKinney Lions.
A good job there by Morgan. He was hammered pretty hard initially at about the 15-yard line, but he was able to spin off forward for a couple of, 4 maybe yards extra by basically with his back to it. So he could have gone down hard. Plus, he was hit pretty hard where the ball was in his arm, so that had the potential to be a fumble. But Morgan held on, and now it's first and 10 at the 20.
After this first play, we'll give you the McKinney Lions starting offense as they come out on the field, first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. 3 receivers to the right side, 1 man in the backfield, kind of that spread one-back look again. Zane Alcorn, shotgun formation, rolling right, wants to throw it out in the flats, and is incomplete pass for Maxwell, who was about 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. Ball falls incomplete. Here's the McKinney Lions starting offense. Second down and 10 from the 20-yard line. This is going to be a handoff up the middle. Now he cuts it out left side. That's Maxwell. Has a 25 out to the 30. Crosses the 30 to the 31. Nice run there close to a first down, and I think he has it for Calvin Maxwell.
Here's the starting defense for the Hawks on the defensive line. There are 2 defensive tackles and a nose guard. The defensive tackle is Charles Mealis, Derek Owasu, Ryan Leonard on the other defensive tackle. 4 linebackers, and they are Travis Carpenter, Nate Price on the outsides. The inside are Brian Uwuji and Max Blue. In the secondary, Ricky Broxton and Marcus Houston.
Brandon
corners.
Onu, I'm sorry, on the cornerback.
And then the safeties are Desmond Murph and Stephen Harris.
Okay, first down and 10 after the Calvin Maxwell run. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers either side, and a bad snap, and Alcorn still trying to find it. Goes back to the 15, picks it up, now trying to throw. Has Zilmer caught at the 35-yard lines and out of bound. And what is a busted play from the get-go, but Alcorn and Zilmer made it look nice at the end.
Yeah, what happened is the offensive line did its job there, held it up, and Zane Alcorn was fumbling trying to pick it up, and he was just going back. It was in length about a 15-yard pass that ended up netting 4 yards, but because the offensive line held the Hebron Hawk defense at bay, that allowed Alcorn to find Zilmer and a 4-yard completion.
Second down and about 6 from the 35-yard line in McKinney territory. This is an offset eye look, and they're going to hand it off to Calvin Maxwell up the middle, crosses the 35 up to the 38-yard line. It'll be third down and about 3. Big play early here for McKinney's offense.
Calvin Maxwell finding the holes fairly early on his first 2 carries. One was a big gain of 11. That one went for 3, but he had to slice and dice his way through that offensive line, picking the holes well that his line was setting. And then by the time he got past the line of scrimmage, the secondary was there to converge and make the tackle.
McKinney has shown different formations throughout this first opening drive. 3 receivers out left now, 1 to the right, and that's Miller. And this is going to be Alcorn rolling out left side. Crosses the 35-40, has the first down, and just short of the 45 at the 44-yard line, but he moves the sticks, and that's the only thing that's really important.
Yeah, they needed 4 yards, got 6 from the quarterback. Designed rollout to the left the whole way. And coming out of the backfield was Calvin Maxwell, and he set a key block that was able to spring Zane Alcorn for the first.
6-yard gain brings it out to the 44, shy of midfield. It'll be first down and 10 as McKinney now will split out wide right. Michael Peters. Zilmer's in the slot along with Calvin Maxwell. Brett Anderson, the lone setback. Shotgun formation for Zane Alcorn. The snap is on its way. It's back. Handoff. Brett Anderson running left tackle. Cuts it back inside, and he is busted at the 46-yard line. Gain of 2, but he paid the price for it as it was Ryan Leonard. No, actually, it was not Ryan Leonard. I believe that was Derek Owusu who came up and really laid the wood to Brett Anderson there.
Well, the thing is when you're a fullback, you're used to that type of hit and kind of expect it going through. He got 2 yards, and that's about what you expect, but it keeps the defense off balance on who you think they're going to hand the ball off to.
Jeff Fuller split out wide right, and Michael Peters comes near side. Moving right to left is McKinney, 1 man in the backfield. Zilmer goes across in motion now to the right side. This is going to be a toss right. Maxwell, not a lot of room. He's going to gain 1, maybe 2. No, he's going to gain 1, and maybe 1 inch is what it is. 9:16 and rolling here in the first quarter. No score, Hebron and McKinney. It'll be third down and about 8.
And that was a situation where the line got no push there on the right side. It was a simple toss-off tackle, but that left side of the Hebron defense held up its end of the bargain, allowed the linebackers to come in and make the tackle.
8th play of the drive, third down and 8. 8:55 left to go here in the first quarter. McKinney sends 2 receivers out either side, 2 men in the backfield, and 1 dots the eye. That's Maxwell, and he's going to get the carry. No, Alcorn takes it out of his stomach and throws an incomplete pass to Chris Zilmer right at the first down marker. And no, they're going to say he makes the catch and move the sticks again. I actually thought Chris Zilmer, I thought the ball was too low and Zilmer didn't make the catch, but they say yes.
He was able to come down and get that low pass. They needed 8. And that's exactly what they got. That's the second pass for Chris Zilmer, and that's already his total for the season. So he's equaled his reception total.
First down and 10 now in Hebron territory. A pretty good drive starting here for McKinney on the opening series. 3 receivers to the near side. 1 man in the backfield is Maxwell. Alcorn's going to fake the hand to him, run up the middle, and he is stopped after a fairly nice gain of 4 yards. I thought for a moment his ankle kind of turned up the middle, but it looks like he's going to be okay as he pops back up. Second down and 6.
It looked like he was trying to plant his right foot to go left, and a defender rolled up on top of it. but he was able to get up out of that one fairly easily and walk back to the huddle.
Second down and 6 here. 7:53 and rolling in the first. No score at Hawk Stadium between Hebron and McKinney. 3 receivers out wide right. Calvin Maxwell the slot, Chris Zilmer the far slot, and Michael Peters split out wide right. This is going to be Alcorn shotgun. Throws it over, almost picked off, and it may be now, and the ball now is on the turf. It was one of those tip drills. He was trying to throw it out to Chris Zilmer, and the ball went up in the air. It was popped up, and then a couple of defenders had a shot at it.
Desmond Murph was heading on his back. He had that one in his hand, but dislodged it when he hit the turf, and it just started rolling. And once it hits the ground, McKinney is able to breathe a sigh of relief.
Third down and 6. A big play once again early on for McKinney. 7:34 left to go here in the first. No score. McKinney has driven from their own 20 all the way to the 42-yard line in Hebron territory as they split out 3 receivers to the near side. Shotgun formation for Alcorn. He's going to hand off. Now he's going to keep it up the middle. Big hole out to the 35, down to the 33-yard line, and another huge third down play for McKinney.
Well, it's like I said in the pregame, this is a situation where they're going to have to get the quarterback involved and get him moving. And so far, he's directing the offense really well, and that forces Hebron to call a timeout.
That is a 9-yard run. We'll take a timeout with them. 7:28 left to go here in the first quarter. No score between McKinney and Hebron. McKinney ISD football will continue in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Hawk Stadium. Bad snap in the shotgun again. Alcorn has to go back near midfield. Tries to throw it downfield, and he has a man. Did he catch it at the 21-yard line? They're going to say no. He was out of bounds. Over there trying to make the catch was Jeff Fuller. Alcorn did a great job just to try to get the football away because he was in jail way back at the Hebron 49-yard line and just lofted the ball out. It's a wonder he even saw Fuller on the far sideline.
Well, one thing I've noticed about Alcorn, he's got great field vision, and he did have Fuller down there, and if the ball is a hair lower, Fuller may not have to jump so high to snag that one in. It might have gotten that 1 foot down he needed, but instead it's an incomplete pass, but not a sack.
13th play of this drive. It's second down and 10 at the Hebron 33. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers either side. Alcorn rolls out right. Wanting to run it is dragged down and horse-collared behind the line of scrimmage at the 38-yard line. It'll be third down and long for the McKinney Lions.
Lost 4 on the play, and that was the defensive line from outside linebacker Trevor Carpenter, who basically lines up like an end, was able to fight off the block from Calvin Maxwell, get around Maxwell, and then grab the back of the jersey of Alcorn and snag him for a 4-yard loss.
Third down and 14, 6:51 left to go here in the first. Michael Peters goes wide right. Jeff Fuller comes wide left. 2 men in the backfield, an offset I with an H-back, and Alcorn's going to hand the ball off. It's the quarterback throw with a flea flicker, and it is going to be intercepted at the 11-yard line by Stephen Nuts, Desmond Murph. He brings it out to the 32, about the line of scrimmage, so it works the same. Well, you think it would be as good as a punt, but Desmond Murph brings it all the way back out, and you hate to see a nice drive end that way on an interception.
Yeah, and it also wastes an outstanding block from Justin Philippi, who prevented a sack on Alcorn. And I think Alcorn might have felt the heat just a little bit because he just threw that one down. But you got to give credit to that Hebron secondary. They were not fooled at all. There were 5 guys back in coverage.
It was a flea flicker. He handed off to Maxwell. Maxwell just turned around and pitched it back to Alcorn, and it didn't fool Hebron at all. Here's a handoff. Derek Robinson up the middle. Big hole, crosses the 40 out to the 42-yard line. So a big run there on first down for Hebron as he picks up 9 yards.
Well, not the thing you like to see at the beginning of the first play of their first drive is a 9-yard carry from Robinson. But he didn't make anybody miss. It's just that's how the blocking was set up, and finally making the tackle out in the secondary after a 9-yard gain.
Second down and 1. Brian Aubuchon, the quarterback, and after this play, we'll give you the McKinney Lions starting defense as Aubuchon sends 2 receivers out wide right, moving left to right now as Aubuchon hands off Robinson, running left tackle, has the first down out to the 45. They're going to mark him at the 46. Here's your McKinney Lions starting defense. First down and 10 for Hebron. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers left side. Now Aubuchon looks over to the offensive coordinator. gets the play and gets the snap. Handoff once again up the middle. Not much doing here, but Robinson trying to break out of tackles, can't do it. Brought down by Brandon Ogletree after a gain of 1 out to the 48-yard line.
Great job by Ogletree there. Here's the starting offense for the Hebron Hawks. On the line, it looks like this. Ryan Leonard at left tackle, Charles Milas at left guard. At centers, Blaine McBride, Corbin Coyle at the right guard, and Spencer Rogers at right tackle. Skilled positions, Brian Aubuchon at quarterback, Derek Robinson at the halfback. The wide receivers are Desmond Murph, Stephen Harris, and Brendan Onu.
Murph goes in motion. Aubuchon wants to throw. Rolling out right side. Has a man, and it's almost intercepted. Now caught. And in for the touchdown for Hebron goes Max Blue. So just like that, on a 52-yard, actually a 48-yard touchdown from Brian Aubuchon to Max Blue, and Hebron is on the board first here tonight. 6-0 Hebron.
Yeah, it was just a simple play where the defense bid on the fake to Derek Robinson, and that's easy to do seeing as how good he was. And then Eddie Morgan almost recovered, tried to jump up and bat it away, but it was just beyond his outstretched fingertips into the waiting hands of Blue. Then he scampered the remaining 20 to 15 for a touch.
The really good kicker, Colin Frank, on for the PAT. He sends it up and true. 7-0 Hebron on top here. 4:43 left to go in the first. McKinney ISD football will continue in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Hawks Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. The Hebron Hawks take the lead here, 7-0 over McKinney, as Brian Aubuchon completes a 51-yard pass to Max Blue for the touchdown, and 7-0 our new score. Here's the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's going to send Eddie Morgan 1 yard deep in the end zone, cuts it out right side, trying to find that far corner, 15-20. One man flips him over end, and down at the 25-yard line. McKinney will set up shop there with 4:34 left to go here in the first quarter.
DeMarcus Houston coming down on the what they call the streaker out there on the left side. That's the guy you can't, whose instructions are don't let the returner get outside of you. And he almost did, but was able to catch Morgan in the air and caught his feet and took out from under him. And Morgan went basically somersault fashion onto his back, but a good, decent return out to the 25.
McKinney will come back out on offense after a nice 13-play drive. However, it ended in an interception to Desmond Murph, as they will come out and send a man in motion. As Dominic Sweeney in motion, toss left side. Calvin Maxwell trying to find this near corner, has it flagged down, and then is wrestled out of bounds at the 29-yard line after a gain of about 4. We'll check the flag.
Yeah, just to show you, it's probably holding, indeed it is, but just how different these offenses are. For the first 5.5 minutes of the game, McKinney was on their first offensive possession, and they go from the 20 down to about the 40, so they are able to get 40 yards. And in the inverse, Hebron has the ball for about a minute and a half, and they go the distance of 70 yards on their drive for a touchdown. And so it just shows you the different dynamics of these two teams.
Well, the holding call is a 10-yard penalty, so now the McKinney Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 15-yard line. Or 1st and 20, rather, from their own 15-yard line.
You wish it was.
Calvin Maxwell in the backfield. Zilmer the slot. Fuller the wideout. And Alcorn's going to fake the hand to Maxwell and throw it out right side. Has a man and is caught by Dominic Sweeney at the 27-yard line, so takes it out past the original line of scrimmage. They're going to actually mark him at the 26. So it'll be 2nd down and 9 now.
Well, that's all you need basically on a 1st and 20 is to try to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and they got a little more than that on the pass play. And so now they're setting up in a standard 2nd and long.
2nd down and 9. 3:42 left to go with first quarter. Hebron on top 7-0 here. Last week, Hebron had a 14-0 lead over McKinney North in the first quarter. 3 receivers near side. This is going to be Alcorn rolling out left side now. Throws it, and it's intercepted by Hebron once again. This time, Stephen Harris picks it off at the 27-yard line.
Well, you can't ask for a better form interception than that. A simple out. And the out is one of the more dangerous pass patterns in football because if you don't throw it right, you can see an interception down to the sideline. However, that was a pretty good pass for the most part from Alcorn. However, it was just a hair inside. Harris leaps, makes the interception at about the 27 or so. However, if he doesn't make that interception, that's going to be a big gain for McKinney. but the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Bottom line, it was an interception.
Well, 3:25 on the clock here in the first quarter. McKinney already down 7-0 here, and Hebron in great shape to add to it at the 27-yard line in McKinney territory right after that interception, as Aubuchon will go under center now, and he's going to toss. So he's going to fake the toss and roll up in the middle. Has a great run, passes the 10 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. It was a great fake as everyone obviously is keying on Derek Robinson, the big tailback who's committed to the University of Texas. They fake tossed to him, and Aubuchon just ran straight up the middle, a la Alcorn on some of his plays.
Yeah, and the thing that's just so impressive is he had the ability to find the holes, but the more impressive part is his offensive line and downfield blocking was set up perfectly. He didn't get touched until he was tackled.
Ball at the 9-yard line, so first and goal from the 9, 3:01 and rolling here in the first quarter. Hebron on top, 7-0. Aubuchon's going to hand left tackle to Robinson, who slips a little bit at the line of scrimmage. He might have even lost a yard, and I believe he did, out back to the 10-yard line. A loss of 1. It'll be second down and goal. So far, McKinney has played pretty well on offense, driving all the way down. 13 plays on their first drive. Couldn't punch it in, though. Matter of fact, it was intercepted by Desmond Murph. Their second drive was intercepted by Stephen Harris on the second play of the drive. And here we are. After that last interception, the Hebron Hawks have driven it down to McKinney's 10-yard line. Second down and goal from the 10. This is going to be a handoff up the middle. Derek Robinson is met at the 8-yard line. Push back, nowhere to go. It'll be third down and goal.
Yeah, this is what a lot of offenses try to do, is do the spread offense, but they're a predominant running game because it spreads the defense out. This time Hebron sent a receiver to the left, 3 to the right, and Robinson alone in the backfield, but because they're so close to the goal line, it doesn't spread the defense out as effectively. There's still more men and less territory, and then once they saw Robinson have the ball, the rest of the defense converged.
Max Blue comes out of the game. Nick Thompson comes in as a wide receiver for Hebron. Aubuchon, shotgun formation this time, and looks over to the offensive coordinator, gets the play, shotgun formation, wants to snap, and gets it. Going to throw the screen pass out, and he overshoots his wide receiver or slot back, Desiree Woods, and the ball falls incomplete. It'll be fourth down, and Colin Frank will come on to attempt the field goal here. Desiree Woods on the season, 3 catches for 54 yards. He had a big one last week. And I tell you what, Woods was kind of a thorn in the side of McKinney North last week.
Yeah, and if you look at it, I think all of Woods' receptions were from last week for the season total. He had a big game last week, but couldn't come up with a wide pass there.
Colin Frank on for the 25-yard field goal, boots it high and boots it true. 10-0, the Hebron Hawks extend their lead here in the first quarter. 1:25 left to go in this first quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Hawks Stadium here in the Plano-Carrollton area. 10-0, the Hebron Hawks lead over McKinney after that 25-yard field goal by Colin Frank. It was a 4-play, 19-yard drive after the interception by Stephen Harris. It took exactly 2 minutes off the clock. Here's the Beef O'Brady's kickoff, and it's going to be taken deep inside the 5 by A.J. Jones as he crosses out to the 20. Look out, 25-30. Cuts it inside. Now it's flipped over end once again out to the 37-yard line. And that's twice now the McKinney Lions have been flipped up over on the kickoff.
Twice by the same guy. It was DeMarcus Houston the first time against Morgan. It was DeMarcus Houston this time against Jones. But again, it was a good return. It got out to the 38. And if you go back to that last drive by Hebron, that was a moral victory for the defense, if you will, because if they, taken over at the 27, that's almost a guaranteed field goal, definitely within Frank's range. So if you can hold them to a field goal, then you're doing well, and that's what they did right there. Oh, and a personal foul now tacked on to the end against Hebron. McKinney's going to be in really good shape now.
That's one thing we talked to Teddy Sappho about, is to try to listen to the Hebron Hawks. They have a reputation of talking a little bit on the field. And Teddy, have you heard anything down there so far? And once again, Teddy down there listening into what's going on down on the field. We'll try to check with Teddy here in just a little bit.
Well, there's one thing about last week we saw, too. This Hebron team's not well disciplined. There were a ton of penalties last week against the Hawks, and now they get a big 15er here.
Ball now at the 46-yard line in Hebron territory. Alcorn's going to keep it around the left side looking for somewhere to go, and Stephen Harris pops him at the 41-yard line. Still a gain of about 5. So McKinney will now have the ball at the 41, and this is good field position for McKinney starting out here.
Yeah, they've had really good field possession most of the game. In fact, their worst start has been the 20. Then they started at the 25, and now this time around they start inside Hebron territory at their 46.
Alcorn will send 2 receivers either side. Peters split out wide right. Fuller split out wide left. 2 men in the slot, Zilmer and Maxwell. And Alcorn's going to run it up the middle and is met by the linebacker back there. It was Max Blue who hit him right at the 39-yard line. And down right there, it'll be 3rd down and about 2.
It seems as though they want to try to attack the middle of the Hebron defense. They've done that a few times with Alcorn along with Calvin Maxwell, but they've had a lot of success trying to turn the corner on either side of the defense. So wait to see what they do here. Again, they're going with the spread offense, and most of the time when you think north spread, you think that they're going to run it, but they've passed the ball 8 times already.
Well, that is the end of the first quarter. When we come back, it'll be 3rd down and 3. They will have switched sides. It's 10-0. Hebron on top here. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Hawk Stadium in Plano. The Hebron Hawks leading here 10-0. Entering the second quarter. McKinney, big play here, 3rd down and 3. Moving left to right now. Handoff up the middle, and Calvin, no, it's A.J. Jones is met in the backfield. Nowhere to go. It's 4th down, and what do? You're kind of in between punting formation, and it's way out of Patrick Kleinenberg's field goal range. And I guess you will punt here.
Yeah, I think you would with the ability this offense has, especially with Robinson able to run the ball as quickly as he is able to do it. You don't want to give him any extra field possession, and this would be a good start for them.
And it will be Zane Alcorn going back in punt formation here on 4th down. The ball is at the Hebron 42-yard line. Alcorn's punt is going to be high. Well, it's going to be an end-over-end line drive kick. It's going to be taken by Stephen Harris at the 9-yard line, and he is down immediately. Great coverage by the McKinney Lions as he had nowhere to go. As soon as he caught the ball, he was nailed.
33-yard punt, but it puts it inside the 10. It's a good job by Alcorn there. It's not going to make his average look good at being just 33, but that's exactly what you wanted to do, and that was a good job in coverage, tackling Hebron inside the 10. And now you got their back against the wall, but you really would like a good defensive series here for the Lions.
Well, since the 14-play drive that McKinney had to open up the football game, which they got no points, they have now run a total of 5 plays on two different possessions since then. Here's 3 receivers to the far right. Aubuchon, the quarterback, in shotgun formation. Robinson stands just behind him and to his right. 11-14 left to go second quarter. Robinson gets the handoff up the middle, jukes and jives a little bit, heading out right side and down after he crosses. Nope, he's not down. He crosses the 20 out to the 24-yard line. What a run by Derek Robinson, the young man who is already committed to the University of Texas. Ran around the right side. I thought for a moment he was down, but he didn't think he was down, and he kept going, and the chains keep going as well.
Well, prior to that, he had 4 carries for 15 yards, but that was a 15-yard gain right there, so now he's up to 5 for 30, which is still below his average. But that just shows you what that kid can do. Not only is he quick, but he's strong as he fought through 3 tackles.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the right. Aubuchon will go under center now, and he's going to hand off left side. Robinson is in jail behind the line of scrimmage and is going to be wrestled down. The whistles are going to blow. He never actually went down, but they whistled the play dead at the line of scrimmage, actually a loss of 1. And on the stop for McKinney, I'm finding it, and no, I'm not finding it. It's a number that we do not have up here. That's why it took me so long. Second down and 10 from the 24-yard line. Aubuchon back to pass, looks over across the middle. It is in and out of the hands of Robinson. The ball was up in the air, and now it is incomplete. Robinson had a chance to catch the football, but when he did, he knocked it up in the air, and anytime that happens, it kind of scares you a little bit if you're the offensive side. But if ball falls incomplete, it'll be 3rd down and 10. 10:07 left to go in the second quarter. The Hebron Hawks up 10-0.
Yeah, you can't combine the two. If my numbers are correct, this will be the first third down of the game for Hebron. I could be wrong, but they're a good offense.
2 receivers out far right. Again, Robinson in the backfield. Same formation as a moment ago, just right behind Abishad. Shotgun formation, gets it, throws out right side, caught and dropped and intercepted. It is intercepted by
Eddie Morgan.
Eddie Morgan, as him and Ryan Packard are in this kind of competition over who can get the most interceptions. Eddie Morgan is one up on him now, picks off his 4th pass of the year, and McKinney will take over at the 42-yard line.
Well, now you see why it's so important to stop Derek Robinson on the first two plays of a first down series, because that forces Abishad to pass. Well, he started off the game 1 for 1 for 51 and a touchdown. He's since gone 0 for 3 with an interception, and he overshot his man there. And Morgan making a play in center field, takes the interception. Once again, McKinney's in Hebron territory.
First down and 10 from the 43-yard line. And they're going to hand off Maxwell, who is met behind the line of scrimmage. Ryan Leonard was right there and pushes him back to the 47-yard line. A loss of about 4 yards on the play.
No one stopped Leonard there. He was just basically a big bulldozer. And, of course, if you look at the numbers, he's a 6-foot, 270-pound senior, and he basically just fell on top of Maxwell, but that's like an elephant tackling a zebra.
Here is a shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the far left is Fuller. Shotgun, Alcorn rolling out left, looking, and now tucks it up, and he's going to run, and he has the 40 and cuts it inside, has the 35-yard line. He's going to be close to a first down, about 1.5 yards short, as they'll mark him down right at the 35. 9:07 left to go here in the second quarter, 10-0 Hebron on top of McKinney.
I'm beginning to wonder if Alcorn greased his jersey, because he's been squirting through tackles pretty decently tonight, and he was almost tackled around the 40, but seemed to squirt through another would-be tackle and was able to gain an extra 6 yards and pick up 12 total.
McKinney really needs to get on the board here. They're at the Hebron 35-yard line, 3rd down and 2. Shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the right. This is going to be a handoff. Brett Anderson. Nope, Alcorn's going to keep it. He's going to be very close to the first down, but I believe he's going to be a couple feet short. They'll mark him at the 34-yard line, actually only give him 1 yard. I thought he had more than that initially, but it'll be 4th down and about 3 feet.
Well, if we're picking our player of the game, I think you got to like what you've seen out of Ryan Leonard so far. Big defensive tackle, just able to make plays and kept Alcorn from getting any more.
Here we go, 4th down and 1. McKinney's going to go for it, 10-0. Hebron on top. Big play here early. Shotgun formation. Brett Anderson stands to the left side of Zane Alcorn and 1 yard behind him. Trying to draw Hebron off sides. They keep barking, and now they're going to call a timeout with 7:53 left to go in the second quarter. Hebron on top will take 1-2 on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Hawk Stadium. 4th down and 1. McKinney's still going to go for it. Alcorn under center. 2 receivers left side. Power I. As Swinney goes in motion, toss left side. Calvin Maxwell looking for the first down. He is met right at the first down marker, and forward progress may give it to him.
No, he's not going to give forward progress because he got to the sticks, but he was hammered back but wasn't wrapped up, and because he was hit so hard, he was knocked backwards for 1 yard, stayed on his feet, and then was tackled short.
We hadn't had a chance to talk down to Teddy Sappho yet, and we'll do that now. Talk about the personal foul earlier. What happened down on the field, and what's been going on down on the field?
Well, man, it's been exciting on Hunter Field actually, because the Lions have been getting good kickoff returns, but the personal foul, really what it was is that one of the Hebron Hawks players shoved one of the players after the play ended. But I'll have a little bit more for you after this play, Monty.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy Sappho. 7:53 left to go here in the second quarter as Hebron takes over possession after turnover on downs. They're going to hand it off to Woods, Desiree Woods, who runs about a 30-yard sprint from one side to the other, but only gains maybe about an inch. It'll be 2nd down and 10. It was the reverse on the play, the slot reverse, and Desiree Woods goes nowhere.
Well, I don't know if you can call it a true reverse because the quarterback held the ball the whole time. Desiree Woods is coming across the formation right to left. They faked it at a play action initially to Derek Robinson, but because, no one bid on the fake, Woods didn't have a lot of room to run.
2nd down and 10. as Derek Robinson stands 8 yards deep, or 7 behind the line of scrimmage. Abishon's going to hand off to him, running right guard. He's met by Casey Cooley, slips that tackle, but can't slip the tackle of Brandon Ogletree and Eddie Morgan, who comes up, and Adam Fairborn also there. 3rd down and long, and you got to love the McKinney defense, how they're swarming to the football.
Yeah, and I also don't quite understand the play call. You've got Derek Robinson back there, and then you try to do an end around on the first play. You take it out of your best playmaker's hands, and now he doesn't do anything. It's 2nd and long, and then 1 short stop, and now it's 3rd and long.
Robinson is standing behind Abishon, who is in shotgun formation. 2 receivers far side, and the man moves early. Abishon back to pass, rolls out, now fires it down, and it's caught for a 1st down by Max Blue. Actually, that's not Blue. That is Nick Thompson, who makes the catch at the 48-yard line. It'll be a 1st down. I'm telling you what, one of the receivers over there was in motion. He actually moved before the ball was snapped. Hebron got away with one there. It was DeMarcus Houston, who actually, and now they're gonna bring this one back. I know I saw that, and now the play is coming back. They're going to mark illegal procedure on Hebron. I didn't think I was going crazy, as they spot the ball now at the 29-yard line. Mark off that big play and mark off the big catch by Nick Thompson. It'll be 3rd down and 15 now from the 29-yard line.
That's why statisticians do pencil.
Shotgun formation for Abishon. Drops straight back, 3 steps deep, under pressure. Now has no pressure. Drops the ball, picks it back up, crosses the 30, 35, 40. Still short of the 1st down at the 43-yard line. They'll mark him in between the 42 and 43. That's about 2 yards short of the 1st down. It'll be 4th down for Hebron with 5:52 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Hebron on top 10-0.
Well, a valiant effort. But unfortunately for Hebron, Abishon not able to get the full 15 yards.
Now remember, last week didn't really matter where they were on the field. They kept going for it on 4th down, and this is a team that has Derek Robinson may even go for it here in their own territory at the 42-yard line. They're 1.5 yards short.
Well, Taylor Owens, their punter, he's only punted the ball this year 17 times.
And still on the field. The play clock down to 1. They'll call a timeout there, and we'll take one with them. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. A little early to be singing the blues here in Hebron. McKinney North was last week about this time, but right now it's 10-0 Hebron on top of McKinney. It is 4th down time and punting time for Hebron. But I really think you have to still watch the fake here.
Yeah, I don't trust anything Hebron does.
The punter is back, and it is off. And taken by Darian Royal, I believe, at the 16-yard line, rather. Makes the catch, calls for the fair catch, and McKinney will take over at their own 17-yard line, moving left to right with 5:09 left to go in the 2nd quarter. What in the world was going on there, Brandon?
I'm wondering, because the offense just stood there. They didn't try to draw the McKinney Lions off sides, but at the same time, they watched the play clock click down, and then when it hit 1, they called a timeout. I don't know what happens. But then they get a decent punt of 39 yards from Taylor Owen. That's 6 yards above his average, and that puts McKinney with their worst field possession of the game.
So McKinney will start at their own 18, call it. 3 receivers out near side. Zane Alcorn in shotgun formation has Brett Anderson standing to his right. Alcorn wants the ball, gets it, and keeps it up the middle. Has a little bit of running room and breaks 1 tackle, and not before he can break another one. Ball's on the turf. No indication. They're saying it is going to be 2nd down. And Zane Alcorn was down on contact right at the 20, and they're going to mark him, I think, at the 21. So now moving on out to the 22-yard line.
So it's officially a gain of 4 for Alcorn. And it was good because he was hit about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, but he was able to break free, but the defender held on just long enough to allow the rest of the defense, or at least somebody else, to get there and make a tackle.
Jeff Fuller goes split out wide left, 3 receivers to the near side. Michael Peters is the end. This is Alcorn rolling out left, looking for Jeff Fuller, has the 1st down, caught at the 29-yard line, goes out of bounds, move the sticks. with 4:21 left to go here in the second quarter. Hebron on top 10-0.
This is so weird. We're seeing a lot of pass attempts already. That's the 9th attempt from Alcorn, and that's his 4th completion.
4:21 left to go before half. And McKinney desperately trying to get into the end zone, at least get some points on the board before half, as they only trail this game 10-0. Moving left to right is the McKinney Lions at their own 30-yard line. Alcorn, shotgun formation, is going to fake to Anderson, roll up the middle, has some room, and is popped at the 38-yard line. And he'll go down there after a nice run. And I tell you what, they're doing a lot of this counter trap action, but the counter trap is actually with the quarterback.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job. So far, he's carried the ball 10 times. He's passed the ball 9 times. And so far, he's got a total yardage of 76. So he's doing just what you'd like him to do with 4 minutes left in the second. And that's just methodically move the ball down the field. But hopefully once they get inside the 40, they can do a little more with it than what they have.
They're going to officially mark the ball at the 37-yard line. 2nd down and 3. Alcorn shotgun, 3 receivers near side. Looking right side, has a man. It is caught by Maxwell. Big hole, has the first down. A flag down at the 44-yard line, and I believe that's going to be a hold, Brandon.
Yeah, one of the blockers on the outside got him, so it's going to be one of those where it's a hold down field, so the stat will count. It'll be officially a 6-yard pass, but then you're going to move the ball 10 yards down from where the holding occurred, which was about a yard or 2 beyond the line of scrimmage, so they're going to put McKinney back to a 2nd and double digits.
Well, Maxwell was able to get out to the 44-yard line. The foul happened at the 42, so they'll move the ball all the way back to the 32-yard line on the spot foul.
Now they're catching a break then. I thought it happened just a couple yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
Well, it'll be 2nd down and 8 with 3:28 rolling here in the second quarter. McKinney down 10-0 at Hebron. Michael Peters split out wide left. Jeff Fuller comes to the near side. One man in the backfield is Brett Anderson, who stands just behind Alcorn. Alcorn's going to roll left side. It was the Boomerooski, and Hebron absolutely nailed it. The fumble on the play. McKinney does recover. Johnny on the spot was Chris Holler, who recovered the fumble, but I'm telling you what, they ran that Boomerooski several times, 3 times to be exact, against McKinney North. It worked beautifully each time, and right there, not a chance.
Well, that's one reason I question, doing it so often, is because you tip your hands to the film on your first district game. Actually, rather your second at that point, but you're still in September. And it looked like Hebron had studied up pretty effectively on that play.
Brings the ball all the way back to the 26-yard line. 3rd down now and 14, under 3 minutes at 2:36. Alcorn rolls right side, looking downfield, in trouble, and sacked at the 20-yard line. A nice play in the backfield there by the defensive back on the play from Hebron, Codarian Knight, who comes up. The 6-foot, 208-pound senior made the stop in the backfield, a big loss, and now it's punt time for McKinney all the way back at their 20-yard line. It'll be Mr. Zane Alcorn punting from about his own 10 or inside his 10-yard line.
Yeah, and that's the problem now with that penalty. They would have had a 1st down beyond the 40. Instead, now they're going to have to punt from the 20.
They had made it all the way out to the 37-yard line and then worked themselves all the way back to the 20. And now they're going to have to punt. 2:27 left to go here in the second quarter. They called a timeout on the field. We're going to keep it here. 10-0, Hebron on top. And what do you think so far?
Well, I like what I see from the offense, but it just doesn't seem like they can put it all together when they need to put it all together. But I've really been impressed so far with what this defense has done, although some odd play calling from the Hebron side has really allowed the McKinney defense to shine. When you don't give the ball to Derek Robinson on 1st down, you're just asking for something. And let's remember last week, Monty, Hebron's not going to let up, especially up only 10-0. So they're going to try for something here at the end of the half.
Well, McKinney not going to try for anything here. They're just going to punt it away. Zane Alcorn stands at his own 7-yard line. Stephen Harris and Desmond Murph back to return this one, as great coverage downfield is Preston Turner, and he will down it along with Michael Peters at the 47-yard line in Hebron territory. Pretty nice punt there by Zane Alcorn, and they will take over shop with 2:18 left to go before half.
Yeah, it was only going to be about a 20-yard punt with the air itself, but got about a 13-yard roll or so for an official 33-yard punt. That's Alcorn's second 33-yard punt of the night, but it really gives Hebron really nice field possession. They're at the 47 of McKinney. They're only 53 yards away, and this is a quick strike offense with 2:18 and a new quarterback in.
Don't forget they were able to score last week right before the half with a big touchdown pass on a screen pass on McKinney North. And you're right, Chris Miller will come in at quarterback. 2 receivers to either side. Stephen Harris in the slot, Desmond Murph wide out, and 1 man in the backfield. And that is not Robinson, but he's going to throw it out this time to Stephen Harris, who breaks a couple of tackles down the sideline to the 32-yard line. And just like that, first down, Hebron inside McKinney territory with 2:11 left to go before half.
Wow.
So they will mark the ball at the 32. A gain of about 20 on the play.
Exactly 20.
As Murph and Harris once again are on the near side, split out. And in the backfield is DeMarcus Houston and not Derek Robinson. Chris Miller, the quarterback, sends Stephen Harris in motion. And he's going to fake to him, hand off to Houston up the middle. Makes a couple of nice nifty moves all the way down to the 20-yard line. Another first down. And Houston kept spinning his way out of tackles and broke enough to pick up the first down to the 20-yard line. 1:42 left to go before the half, and a man will check in for McKinney, and that's going to be Justin Philpy, and out will go Paul Wynn.
Well, very, very quickly, McKinney's gone, or rather, Hebron's gone 30-plus yards on 2 plays.
Chris Miller still in at quarterback, sends 2 receivers either side, drops 3 steps back, wants to throw out, and has his man caught, not for very much, down to the 16-yard line. Desmond Murph makes the catch, and that'll bring up the second down and about 6. And more importantly, the clock is rolling here, 1:11.
Well, Chris Miller's thrown 2 passes, but he already has more completions than starter Brian Abushon, who only completed his first pass of 4 attempts total.
DeMarcus Houston gets the toss running right side, has the 15 being chased down, and now cuts it back inside and has the 10-yard line. That's very, very close to a first down, and I believe they're going to be able to move the sticks here. Under a minute now, 47 seconds on the clock before half.
A yard short, actually. And that's going to be a big defensive stand here because it's trailing 13-0 sure looks a heck of a lot better than 17-0.
36, 35, 34 on the clock. 3rd down and 1. This is a toss to Chris Miller is going to fire it out to his receiver, Stephen Harris, who makes the catch. And I believe that is going to be enough for a first down, and it is, out to the 8-yard line. So 26 seconds on the clock. The clock stops momentarily for the change, or the move of the change. It'll be first down from the 8-yard line. And now Chris Miller is going to spike the ball to stop the clock. 22 seconds on the clock. It'll be second down and goal.
Well, so they've wasted it down because the last time they were on the field, they let the play clock tick down to 1 without trying to draw McKinney off sides on a 4th down. So they lost that timeout, and now that loss forced them to lose it down here. Not that it matters with 22 seconds left, but it sure makes clock management a lot harder. Just tackle them before they get to the goal line, be slow to get up, and you might be able to go to the locker room.
If you're a McKinney fan, you really need a big stand right here. So many times last year and so many times already this year, we've seen great defensive goal line stands for McKinney. Need a big play right here. Chris Miller goes in shotgun formation, and he's going to roll out left side flag down. I believe that's going to be a false start by Hebron, so back him up. Takes 2 seconds off the clock as well. Hebron leading right now, 10-0, 20 seconds to go before half, and it is false start against Hebron. Back him up 5 yards.
The clock shouldn't have ticked off because it's a dead ball foul. The foul happened before play had started, so there should still be 22 seconds left.
Right now, the clock showing 22nd on the scoreboard. Also showing a 10-0 lead by Hebron. And remember, Colin Frank is huge for Hebron right now, as he is long enough from 52 this year. Obviously, he can boot it through at this distance. But right now, Hebron really looking for the end zone, and McKinney looking for a turnover.
Now they started the game clock. Yeah, there you go. The ref's got to get this straightened out. There should be 22 seconds left because it was a dead ball foul. Happened before the play had started.
There should be 22 seconds on the clock as two receivers will go wide out. They're trying to fix the situation up here.
Yeah, when the referee motioned his arm in a full circle, start the play clock. Instead, they started the game clock, and then the referees are right on top of that one. So now we got it straightened out. It's going to be a second to go to the 13, 22 seconds left.
10-0, Hebron on top. The officials trying to get things straight on the field. Now they do.
And it's a good job by the officials. I'd like to say they did a very good job in managing this play.
Two receivers out wide right for Hebron. It is DeMarcus Houston in the backfield alongside Chris Miller, the quarterback. Watch out for Desmond Murph running near side. This is Chris Miller rolling right side. Flag down once again. Miller's going to tuck it and run. He's at the 8 and brought down by Brandon Ogletree. A nice play by Ogletree. We'll have to check the flag. Right now the clock says 14 seconds.
The clock should not stop.
Well, there was a flag on the play.
Is that?
For a moment, they're going to have to check the flag and see what is going on the field there. So kind of a sloppy way to end a pretty good first half of football with 14 seconds. Right now, I believe that's going to go against Hebron. And, Brandon, did you check that?
Yeah, it's a holding call. Just I thought it would be along the line. Going out to his right was the quarterback, and a lot of times when you scramble like that, it forces the line to hold. So now they got a first and goal beyond the 20.
Hebron trying what amounts to a quick pitch here as they get on the line of scrimmage real fast, and they stop the clock with 11 seconds. So now it will be third down and 22.
Third and goal.
Third and goal from the 22-yard line. And what a crazy way to end this half.
Well, if you're going to have a passing quarterback, it looks like it's Chris Miller. From this game, he's 3 of 3. Instead, they're going to attempt a field goal. Colin Franks out, and he sets the tee down at the 29, so we're looking at a 39-yard field goal. And he's definitely has the leg to make it through the crossbars, but at 40 yards, his accuracy is a little bit questioned.
Here we go, 11 seconds on the clock, 10-0, Hebron on top. Colin Frank back for a 39-yard field goal, plenty of leg, and it is no good. He hooked it wide left, so 10-0 will be our score. We do have 7 seconds left on the clock. We'll see what McKinney does if they try to just run this clock out or if they actually try some tricks of their own.
See, this may, again, I hate to do this, but I kind of question just the clock management. Because of the lack of a timeout, they couldn't run the ball to the middle of the field, and that meant that the kicker, Colin Frank, was kicking from that his left hash mark, and because it wasn't right down the middle of the field, he had to try to angle it, and apparently it went just a bit too far. I don't know if it was left or right, but because the angling just makes it so much harder to kick a field goal.
And all of those penalties come back to haunt Hebron as they had the ball first and goal at the 8 and moved them all the way back to the 22. And that's where McKinney will take over right here and just take a knee. Alcorn just pops down for a second. That'll kill the clock. I think you got to be happy if you're a McKinney Lion fan. 10-0. Hebron leads in this game, but, McKinney opened the game with a 14-play drive. Unfortunately, it ended in an interception by Desmond Murph, and McKinney came back on their second possession. They hadn't had a lot of success since that first drive. Alcorn's been picked off twice in this football game, but they have done relatively well on defense against Mr. Derek Robinson. And I tell you what, like I said, I think you got to be happy if you're a Lion fan.
Well, yeah, and you got to wonder just why Robinson hasn't been getting the ball. Monty, 7 carries the first half. Granted, they're only 30 yards, but this is not a guy who, you bog down a lot. The fact that he's only touched the ball 7 times is, I hate to question a coach because they know more about their team than I do, but I just think you got to get Robinson the ball more. Now, if you're McKinney, you're doing something to stop Robinson from getting the ball more, so just do what you've been doing.
Well, 10-0 here at the half in Hebron, Texas at Hawk Stadium. I say Hebron, Texas, actually Plano, Texas. I don't know if there is such a thing as Hebron, Texas.
I don't even know where we are. We could be in like 3-4 different cities. I think we're in Carrollton, actually, because that's what the stadium address is. The school, I don't know.
Who knows? It's Louisville ISD. We're close to Carrollton. We're on Plano Parkway. Who knows where we are? What we do know, it's 10-0. Hebron on top of McKinney. McKinney's fought hard in the first half, and we're going to give you some halftime interviews in a moment with Teddy Saffo. We'll take a quick timeout. Be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.
offense that likes to put 40 points or more on the board, and you've only given up 10. You might be somewhat concerned as the offensive output is only 85 total yards, but this is still a situation where you're definitely in a very winnable ball game.
You know, speaking of McKinney North and the week that they had last week, which obviously was not good over here at Hebron, let's pass along some scores. McKinney North on top of Frisco, 17-7. They're just now entering half. We heard just a few moments ago there were a couple of ticks on the clock before the half. Frisco did score, so it's 17-7. Also up north, Sherman on top of Wichita Falls. I believe they're playing Ryder tonight. It is it's either Ryder or Hershey. I can't exactly remember for sure, but one of the Wichita Falls schools. They're at Bearcat Stadium, and Sherman's on top 7-6. Denison's on the other Wichita Falls team. They are playing Old High, the Coyotes. So Wichita Falls leading Denison in that one, 14-7. Old High was picked to win that district up there in 5-4A. But right now, you got to tip your hat to McKinney. Obviously, tip your hat to Hebron. They've played real well since November the 3rd or November the 7th, 2003 in regular season play. They haven't lost a game since then, and we were trying to do the math, and that's 708 days since they've lost their last regular season game.
Just pretend today's a playoff game. In the last 2 years prior to this season, they're only 1-2 in the playoffs. So just pretend you're in a playoff game, and all of a sudden it's a little bit more winnable.
I will make a prediction. At some point, Hebron will lose a game in the regular season. At some point. That's my prediction.
Wow. You've underwhelmed me.
10-0. Hebron on top here in the Plano-Carrollton area at Hawk Stadium. We'll be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to halftime here at Hawk Stadium in the Carrollton-Plano area. Hebron on top 10-0 over McKinney. The Hebron Hawk Band is playing right now. I think they're about to wrap it up as they're putting on a pretty nice show out there. We look out across the way, and McKinney Band has, we haven't seen them yet. They may come out here in just a few moments. And,
I think we have.
Have we? I was too busy going over highlights and things like that. That's another thing about halftime these days. It seems like it gets longer and longer and longer as the years go by. There have been times when halftime will last 45 minutes, and that is just absolutely ridiculous.
Last week.
Yeah, last week was one of those.
Of course, we don't have homecoming here today, so that's a nice change of pace. And, we saw the same Hebron performance last week as we have now had, but because it was homecoming, it's like I said, it's what I like what Carrollton, I guess Newman Smith did, is they had the band perform after the game because of the halftime ceremonies, and that wasn't so long. It was still long because halftime during a homecoming is never going to be quick. But, boy, it just dragged on last week, and now we're only sitting about 5 minutes away from the start.
This is a good time to thank some of our sponsors with the shirts on our back, if you will. The Germain Designs up in Denison. A lot of times I have people asking me where I got this thing, and basically it is Germain Designs. They provide our uniforms and have for years on the broadcast. They have a little mock tee that they gave us, and I've got the McKinney North logo on my right sleeve and McKinney logo on my left sleeve and the K-Lake logo on my chest. And, you have to be politically correct. You can't have just one or the other. So
we could have alternate jerseys. Of course, when we do the Crosstown Showdown, then you have to wear both at the same time. That might get a little unwieldy.
I don't know where they're going to put the third patch next year, the McKinney Boyd. I don't know where. Maybe on our back.
Square the back. Small of the back, rather.
And we also want to thank True Image Productions, who provides the feed for the cable every week. You watch that on the cable channel. And also, they film the coaches show that's provided every week that you get to watch on your cable channel as well. True Image Productions. We have started this Player of the Game idea that we're going to put together. The True Image Productions Player of the Game. And tonight, I don't know if on the McKinney side, if you had to look across the board for McKinney and pick out a Player of the Game, you might look at Zane Alcorn.
I think you'd have to.
He's done really well running the football as well as throwing it. Also Eddie Morgan, who picked off the pass, really the only flashy play on defense tonight.
Well, but he's made several tackles. I do remember one where Robinson had one man to beat, and it was Morgan, and he didn't allow that to happen. So you can give that to Morgan too. I'm more leaning. We've done this in the past, and right now this unit as a whole is playing well together. So this might be a situation where a player of the game is just the defense.
Yeah, and the leader of that defense, it might be Brandon Ogletree. Ogletree all year has made tackle after tackle, and coming in tonight, really shutting down Derek Robinson. Now, you can't really say shut down Derek Robinson.
Well,
because Hebron has really shut down Derek Robinson, only giving him 7 carries. But when he does get the carries, it seems like Brandon Ogletree is right there every time.
At 4.2 yards per carry, I think that's,
That's cutting his yards per carry in half.
well, less than half, really,
And
because he averages about 8.5. So if you can get him to 4.2, well, that's still really good. Heck.
And you really have to mark off one of those runs that he had was a tremendous run for about 22 or 3 yards. Well, he broke 3 or 4 tackles, so you take that one away, and they really have shut him down.
Longest one I have is 15, so half his yardage total has come on 1 carry. And that's been, so if you take away that 115, he's got 6 carries for 15 yards, and that's just over 3 a carry.
And I want to talk to Teddy Saffo here and find out what exactly has been going down on the field. You may have mentioned this earlier in the halftime show when you were talking to Brent, but I want to find out what exactly is being said down there on the field by some of these guys.
Well, actually, really, if you talk about overconfident, that's the Hebron side. I mean, apparently, I talked to J.D. Dowling, and he said that the person who's been talking the most is none other than Derek Robinson, and they've shut him down. Quite a surprise to me.
What exactly did you have a chance to talk to head coach Todd McVay right before the half, or what do you think he's saying to his team right now?
Well, I know he told his team earlier that he wants to play ball control right now. He feels that if he can keep the offense on the field long enough, and hopefully try and put some, because look, if you look at the first drive, 13 plays, they had something going until the flea flicker incident, and they weren't able to get any points. But other than that, the defense has played pretty well. And you have to tip their hats off, really, to Coach McVay, because he's kept his team energized on the sideline all night.
How is the energy? Does it feel like a playoff game down there? Because really, McKinney's fighting for their playoff life tonight. Really, to be honest with you, I know there's games down the road, but this is a game that they really need to win.
Right, it is a big game. I'm just speaking with Brent. He said tonight's game is a big game, but it does. I wouldn't say it's playoff intensity quite yet, but it does feel like you could feel the sense of urgency on the sideline that they do need to win this game.
And I don't think that this is a playoff life fighter here, because if you lose this one and win out, you're still in, because 2 losses out of a 3-team race, that'll get you in the playoffs. But if you don't win this one, you have to win out.
Well, and
to guarantee.
That's true. And McKinney North, they can thank their little brother over to the north of them for putting the wood on Frisco tonight, and hopefully the North can hang on there. But if they can knock Frisco down a little bit and McKinney can knock out Frisco, then both of them might have a chance to make the playoffs here.
Well, and if North beats Frisco, then they're guaranteed a sole possession of second place. Or not sole possession, but guaranteed to stay in second, because they'll get the tiebreaker over Frisco, who will move to 3-1. The win will put North at 3-1. And then depending on what happens here, McKinney will either be 3-1 or 2-2. So no matter what happens, and then best case scenario for North is if McKinney wins here. Because if McKinney wins, they move to 3-1. Hebron drops to 3-1. North is 3-1, and Frisco's 3-1. So you got a big jam. But North would have the tiebreaker over both Frisco and McKinney. So that again, it's still too early to try to figure out playoff talk now. But
I've got tired head right now from all of that 9-4A talk. I tell you what, both teams are coming back out on the field. We'll take a quick timeout. The second half is coming up next. Hebron on top, 10-0 on K-Leg, 97.5. Welcome back to Hawk Stadium here in the Plano-Carrollton area. The McKinney Lions have made their way back out on the field, and they are really trying to get into it down on their sidelines. To see Patrick Kleinenberg pushing a couple of guys, trying to get everybody fired up and ready for this second half, as McKinney will have to kick off here to Hebron, who won the toss initially and deferred for the second half, and they will get the ball here for the second half. Some scores to pass along in District 9-4A. It is Lake Dallas over Justin Northwest, 21-6.
Whoa, that's a big one.
And Keller Central leading Frisco Centennial 15-7. McKinney North on top of Frisco 17-7. And, of course, here 10-0 the Hebron Hawks over McKinney at half. All of those are halftime scores as Patrick Kleinenberg is about to tee it up for the Beef O'Brady's kickoff at his own 40-yard line.
And going back to that Northwest, that's a big one because Northwest is tied for second with a 2-1 district record. So if they drop, that really helps the McKinney schools out.
Absolutely. And, of course, next week, McKinney North will take on that Justin Northwest team and could really deliver the knockout blow to Justin Northwest next week.
Yeah, and that would really bolster North if they can win today and next week.
How about that? McKinney North thinking about the playoffs for the first time ever in their school history.
Gotta love it.
And right here, McKinney Lions trying to think about it too. Patrick Kleinenberg is kicking the ball high, and the pooch kick, it's going to land at the 20-yard line. It's kind of an
Get on that! There we go!
It was on the 20-yard line. It was in between the pooch kick
there you go.
and the deep kickoff.
I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
And I think Brandon was about to jump out of the press box there for a second.
Well, they were fielding that like it was a punt.
The ball landed at the 20, and backing up on the ball, I believe that was Harris over there. It might have been Desmond Murph backing up and trying to let it roll out of bounds. And it did go out of bounds, so it'll be a penalty against McKinney. But for a second there, a couple of Lions had a chance to jump on the football and didn't.
Yeah, they were fielding that like a punt because a kickoff is a live ball, and if they get on that, McKinney's got 1st and 10 at the 20. Oh, that would have been big. It's a momentary lapse there on special teams. I'm sorry, Monty. I'll try to keep it under control next time.
My ears are burning. 2 receivers either side, 1 man in the backfield, and that's Derek Robinson, the big tailback. Brian Aubuchon is back into the game at quarterback, and he will send Brandon Onu out wide right. Stephen Harris, or Desmond Murph rather, wide left, and here's Derek Robinson getting the ball right tackle, and he's taken down by guess who? Brandon Ogletree, and also along for the ride is Justin Philpy.
Well, Ogletree is an all-state contender at that linebacker position, and there's no, again, bigger test, like we said earlier in the game, than the tailback they're going to face at Hebron here, Robinson. And so far, that's a carry of officially 2, but more like 1.5.
They will spot the ball at the 32-yard line, as Aubuchon will go under center now, and they'll take a step back, look over to the sideline, get the play. 2 receivers either side. He's going to toss left side. Robinson being chased down by Philpy. He's going to outrun him, but he's not going to outrun Ryan Packard, who nails him after a gain of about 1, even if he got that. Packard, a great open field tackle, came in and just took the legs out of Robinson.
And that's something we didn't see last week was the cornerbacks containing out there on the end, but the McKinney corners have done a much better job of doing that. They're not allowing Robinson to get outside, and then there's a penalty on the play. It looks like a holding against Hebron, and McKinney will decline that for basically a 3rd and 8.
And they will have they will spot the ball right at the 32-yard line, so it will be 3rd down and 8. 11:09 just starting here in the second half. Hebron on top, 10-0. 2 receivers either side. Stephen Harris comes over to this slot. Aubuchon drops 5 steps back, rolls up, under pressure, now fires, has his man Onu caught across the 50-yard line into McKinney territory down to the 44. And I had to think that Aubuchon was very close to the line of scrimmage throwing that football. I thought for a second that he had crossed the line of scrimmage when he threw it. He was very close, but they're going to say no and give the first down to Hebron into McKinney territory at the 44.
Well, that one hurts because you had him in a 3rd and long situation. And then they end up picking up 24 yards on the pass play, which is not their strength.
1st down and 10 for Hebron, and now there's an official timeout. They're going to discuss this one.
What's to discuss, I wonder? Well, sometimes I wish we could mic the officials up just to see what's going on, you know?
The umpiring crew tonight is the referee Ken Etley, Ricky Eads the umpire, as Aubuchon goes back under center. We'll get back to that in just a moment. It is 1st down and 10 from the McKinney 44. This is going to be a fake the toss, and Aubuchon didn't fool the front 7 for the McKinney Lions as he is busted all the way back. And, of course, they're going to give him progress, but I'm telling you what, he was absolutely level. They're going to spot the ball at the 47-yard line, and a loss of 4 on the play, or 3 on the play, rather.
And guess who leading the charge? Ogletree.
The officials for tonight out of the Dallas chapter. Again, Ken Etley, the referee, Ricky Eads, the umpire, Clifford Averett, the linesman, Jeff Graves, the line judge, Randy Willis, the back judge. And once again, out of the Dallas chapter, second down and 13. We're at the 10-minute mark in the third quarter. Aubuchon back to pass, three-step drop, looks over right side. Wide open is Desiree Woods, and it is incomplete. Eddie Morgan accidentally jumps into him, and Woods gets up wanting to fight a little bit because he didn't know that it was an accident, but nonetheless, it'll be third and long.
Even if it wasn't an accident, J.D. Dowling got a couple of fingers on that one from his linebacker position, right over his head. He jumped and touched it, and once it's touched, you can hammer the receiver no matter where he is. So that's been a legal play one way or another.
Third down and 13, 9:55 left to go in the third quarter. Hebron on top, 10-0. Two receivers either side. Brandon Onu split out wide right. Desmond Murph split out wide left. And this is going to be a toss left side. This is Robinson looking for the 45-40. Flag down at the 35. And he's going to be very close to the first down. Check the flag. And once again, Hebron is just shooting themselves in the foot tonight with these holding calls.
Yeah, I talked about this is one chink in the armor for Hebrons. They're in undisciplined play. And coming from the referee trailing it, that's going to be in the area of a holding. But the Hebron Hawks are pointing it's against McKinney. It was a 14-yard gain on third and 13, and it is on McKinney, and it's declined.
So it will be a first down for Hebron at the 34-yard line, I believe. They haven't officially marked the spot. Now they are at the 33-yard line. So Hebron on the move here on the first series of the second half. 9:46 left to go. And really, McKinney's had opportunities to shut this drive down and have yet to be able to do that. Hebron's converted a big third down play with a pass to Brandon Onu that kept the chains moving. And right now the chains are moving once again. First down and 10. Derek Robinson in the backfield. Brian Aubuchon goes back in shotgun formation this time. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Onu is the split out wide receiver to the right. Aubuchon fakes and pumps that way. Now wants to throw the home run ball to Onu. Darian Royal in coverage and knocks the ball away. A beautiful play by Darian Royal. He blanketed Brandon Onu, and the ball falls incomplete. It'll be second down and 10, and that looked similar to what we saw last week. But McKinney North wasn't able to defend that play as well as Darian Royal was.
Well, they had Onu come in about 7 yards on what looked like a hitch. Aubuchon faked it, trying to get Royal to come up, and he did a hair, but not enough to be caught off guard once Onu went down the field running a fade.
Second down and 10, eighth play of the drive, 9:33 left to go here in the third quarter. It will be a double tight set, two men in the slot position to the right side. Aubuchon rolls out right and wanting to throw. Has Stephen Harris open, now decides to keep it, rolls to the 30, inside the 30 to the 26, short of the first down by about 3 yards. It'll be third down and about 3.
Well, that was a good gain for Hebron because now that the 3rd and 3, that opens up the playbook a lot more than the 3rd and long would have. And even then, you wonder with Robinson getting the carry last time they had 3rd and 13 and him picking up 14 yards, just how much that limits the playbook. But 3rd and 3 is very manageable for the Hawks.
The tight end over there is a little confused, the H-back rather. Now he moves over in the slot, and that's Max Blue. There was a little miscommunication on Hebron's offensive part. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand off Robinson up the middle. He is met and down at the 25-yard line. So I tell you what, that McKinney defense just really stepping up there.
Well, guess who is again in on the tackle? Ogletree coming up from the middle linebacker position, and that's the key to stopping Robinson, is tackling him on the first play, or on the first touch rather, instead of having him break a couple of tackles, and that's what they've done. Now it's 4th and 2.
4th and 1.5. Call it 2. 8:17. Big play here. Brian Brazel is going to roll the dice. Not much of a gamble, but Aubuchon's going to keep it. Has the first down. Has the 15, 10, 5. And Hebron has scored on a 4th and 2 with 8:04 left to go in the third quarter. They up their lead 16-0.
Simple play designed to go up the middle, but call it all back because there's a holding call.
Good news for Lion fans. Bring that one back. And I'm telling you what, Hebron time and time again has shot themselves in the foot. They're giving McKinney all the opportunities in the world to try and get back into this football game, and they're not out of it by any means.
No.
But they're trying to give them all the opportunities to actually stop them. They're just saying, hey, stop us.
Well, and you mentioned they're not out of it, but you very well could be, because they've thrown an interception inside their own territory. They've had a penalty when they had 1st and goal at the 7 that moved them back to a 39-yard field goal attempt that was eventually missed. So there's a potential of, if not 14, at least 10 points off the board right there. And now you take this touchdown off, so it's just not going well. And the holding was downfield, so it's going to be another 4th and 2.
So ball at the 25-yard line, 8:04. And this is going to be a handoff. Robinson up the middle. He is met, breaks out of one tackle, 20. Dragging people down to the 10-yard line, has the first down. And I mean to tell you, he drug 7, 8 McKinney Lions down to the 10-yard line with him. He was not going to be stopped.
Yeah, this is one of the few times that you're going to see domination up front by by the Hebron offensive line. While they haven't been dominated by McKinney, they haven't won the line of scrimmage battle all night either. But that's the first time that they got a lot of push where Robinson wasn't fighting off a tackle or two as he hit the line of scrimmage.
11th play of the drive coming up for Hebron. Remember, McKinney opened up the first half with a 14-play drive that didn't score. This is the 11th for Hebron, and they have yet to score. 7:46 left to go in the third quarter, and they're chewing up just about all of this third quarter clock so far. And another flag on the play. This one before the play has started. And it will go against Hebron, and we'll see what it was.
Illegal procedure.
And that'll back it up 5 yards. Back to the 15-yard line. 1st and goal from the 15. This will be Aubuchon under center. Toss right. Robinson has the line of scrimmage, has the 15-10. One man to beat and drags him down at about the 4-yard line. And Cates Keith is the man who does it. And I said 4. They're going to give him the 2.5. So a nice run there of 13 yards on just a simple toss right. And it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 2.5-yard line.
Got a couple of things. First, I'm wondering out there on the cornerback position for McKinney, Darian Royal was being blocked in the back, it looked like, allowing Robinson to spring out. And Robinson's already doubled his rushing total. He's now at 74 for the game when he was at 30 for the half.
This is a shotgun formation. Robinson stands to the left of Aubuchon, the quarterback. One receiver out either side, double tight set. Robinson is not going to get it. Aubuchon's going to keep it, running out far sideline. Great open field tackle. Now all the Lions get there, knock him out of bounds. On the tackle, there's a flag down. On the tackle for McKinney is Adonis Graham, among others. J.D. Dowling is out there and Ryan Packard from the corner position, but there is a flag down. We'll check it.
Yeah, the flag came from the back judge, so that could be a number of things. However, we're going to have a block in the back on Hebron. So while it was going to be a loss of 2 to the 3.5-yard line or so, they're going to take the penalty, which is the 10-yard variety. And once again, they're going to have a 2nd and goal, this time beyond the 10-yard line. And you know what? This is the 2nd straight possession, Monty, where they had a 1st and goal and a 2nd goal outside the 10-yard line.
You know, Hebron's basically saying, we don't want to score, McKinney. You know, they're going to try to make McKinney win this football game.
This is where McKinney needs to get a turnover and just say, fine, you don't want to do it, we'll take it.
Now the ball at the 12-yard line, 13 call it. 12th play of the drive. Aubuchon back to pass, 2-step drop, throws it out in the flats to Desiree Woods. He is immediately tackled by Eddie Morgan, who runs him out of bounds. Nice play there by Morgan. The safety comes up and makes the stop on the slot back, Desiree Woods.
Yeah, it's only a gain of 5, so they're going to have a 3rd goal at the 8. But that's a huge tackle because if Morgan doesn't come to the top of Woods, he's easily able to get inside the 5-yard line. And that's almost a no-brainer, give it to Robinson. But now the 3rd and 8, not a lot of options.
3rd and goal from the 8, 6:34 left to go, third quarter, 10-0, Hebron on top. 3 receivers out wide left. Robinson in the backfield alongside Aubuchon, who's in shotgun formation. No receivers to the right except for the tight end, Max Blue.
Play clock.
And the play clock right. It is down to 3 to get it off. And Aubuchon's going to run it up the middle on the draw, and he is stopped and now gains more yardage, but is down at the 4-yard line. A nice play there by that interior front. J.D. Dowling comes up and makes the stop along with others, and the ball is going to be placed at the 4-yard line. It'll be 4th down.
Well, Casey Cooley made the initial hit on Abisham, but he did it by going over the back. If you can get into the front and knock him sideways, he doesn't get as much on the initial carry. Instead, he got up to the 4-yard line, and you could have only stopped it for a gain of 2. That doesn't matter much because Frank basically is going to get a chip shot PAT attempt. However, it is on the hash mark, so watch that.
21-yard attempt for Colin Frank. And the ball is on the tee. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 13-0. Hebron extends their lead with 5:48 left to go in the third quarter. And I think you got to be happy if you're McKinney to only somehow come out of that with a field goal. And we'll be back as Hebron has the lead 13-0 on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Well, with 5:48 left to go in the third quarter, McKinney's about to get the ball for the first time here in the second half as Hebron just scored on a 21-yard field goal by Colin Frank, brings our score 13-0. And the Beef O'Brady's kickoff by Colin Frank is going to be very high. It's going to be taken by Eddie Morgan at the 4-yard line. He's running up the left hash and is in trouble. Somehow escapes a couple, but gets out past the 20-yard line to the 22. And that's where McKinney will set up shop for the first time in the second half as Hebron ran 6 minutes and 12 seconds off the clock on a 14-play, 66-yard drive. And I'm going to tell you what, McKinney's offense has got to be reeling to get out there right now.
Well, this is now a situation as we get later into the game where McKinney needs to score, but I think they need to turn around and give Hebron a little of their own medicine. Right now, their own 6-minute, 12-second drive is what they need, but they need a touchdown right now to cut it under a one-possession game.
Only 2 touchdowns would take the lead for McKinney, assuming you hold Hebron, and they have, for the most part, held Hebron, and Hebron has held Hebron a lot tonight.
It's more what it is.
This is going to be a handoff up the middle. Calvin Maxwell, he's going to gain about 3 yards out to the 25-yard line. So second down and about 7 for McKinney.
It almost seems as though Maxwell's running just a hair timid because he's going through that line. Granted, you should have both hands on the ball, but it seems like his head's tucked instead of just sprinting and hitting the hole.
3 receivers out wide right. Alcorn, shotgun, rolls out that way, has a man, and it's incomplete. Attempted for Calvin Maxwell right at the first down marker, and the ball falls incomplete. 3rd down and 7.
Well, you really need a first down here because now you're going to put your defense back on the field after being on the field for the first 6+ minutes of this quarter, and then you've only been able to run it down to 5:10. Sub 1 minute drives don't give your defense just a lot of rest,
3rd down and 7, 5 minutes and 10 seconds left on the third quarter clock. Hebron on top 13-0 as some allergy problems have crept their way into the booth. And there's a bad snap. The ball's on the turf, but whistles blow before the play is underway, and a timeout has been called. We'll take one, too. 13-0, Hebron on top of McKinney. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.
Well,
Zane Alcorn, bad snap, low snap, gets it now, throws it out, and throws it out of bounds, intended for Michael Peters. It'll be 4th down. McKinney desperately needed a first down on that play, didn't get it. No, ball will be punted away to Hebron here. 5:07 left to go in the third quarter. Hebron on top 13-0, and Zane Alcorn's about to go back in punt formation.
Well, they started this drive with 5:41 on the clock and now it reads 5:07. That's going to send the defense out. They're going to not get a lot of rest out there. Now, granted, the timeout will have helped, but you really would have liked a long drive from your offense.
Yeah, you're right. And Alcorn is in punt formation. And one man will go in motion. They're going to fake the fake, and Alcorn boots it away, lands across midfield. It's a pretty nice bounce. Preston Turner is going to kill it at the 40-yard line, so Hebron will have possession in their own territory, but barely at the 40-yard line.
It's actually Ben Martinek with the punt there. And I didn't know he did punting duties.
He did. He started out the season as the punter, and Zane Alcorn took over in about week 2, I believe. So Hebron will take over with 4:59 left to go in the third quarter on top 13-0 here.
Well, I'm wondering if Alcorn should go back and punt because that was only a 29-yarder from Martinek.
Shotgun formation. Aubuchon goes back, now looks over to the side. 3 men in the slot. Chris Miller, the backup quarterback, is split out wide right. And this is going to be a handoff. Robinson up the middle, and he has nowhere to go. On the play is the linebackers. Casey Cooley's there. Brandon Ogletree's there. Paul Wynn is there. Eddie Morgan and Adam Fairborn. Everyone got to the football on that play, and it's 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard pickup.
Yeah, I think it was Cooley who made the initial charge. At least that's who I'm going to say did it. And then he held on long enough to allow the rest of the D to get there.
And Aubuchon will go under center this time. And he will toss left side. Robinson trying to find that corner. Cuts it back up inside, and he is busted once again. He does gain some yardage on this one, just shy of midfield. Out to the 48-yard line, and I believe J.D. Dowling's the young man who popped him.
Casey Cooley came on, actually made the first hit. And again, he held on just long enough so he'd make the first initial contact twice in a row now on Robinson that have allowed for 2 carries and 5 yards. So if he can do it again, this would be a very big key time to do it.
Casey Cooley, the fastest young man on that McKinney Lions squad. We talked to him in the senior spotlight a little bit. And you wouldn't think that. You would think Wimbish or Darian Royal, somebody like that, Ryan Packard. No, Casey Cooley, the defensive end, the fastest man on the Lions. And they're going to need him here. 3rd down, and Hebron's going to call a timeout. We'll take 1-2. 13-0. Hebron on top with 3:29 left to go in the third quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Aubuchon under pressure, and he throws it out incomplete. He had a chance to complete the pass to his receiver, Nick Thompson, but he drops it. I'm going to tell you what, Aubuchon was under pressure. He had Adonis Graham right at his heels, but he somehow eluded that pressure, threw the ball out, but Thompson couldn't find the handle. It falls incomplete, 4th down.
Yeah, J.D. Dowling was also there and also couldn't make the sack. He was being blocked. He had been blocked to the ground initially, got up and was still within the grass before Aubuchon escaped. But boy, Thompson really killed that drive by a drop. And add that one to another mistake of Hebron shooting themselves in the foot here. That would have been a first.
3:21 on the clock, and we could be in for a great barn burner of a football game if McKinney could get on the scoreboard here. 13-0, Hebron on top. The punt's high, spiraling punt, going to be taken at the 16-yard line by Darian Royal. Comes near side, and he is in jail and down. And guess who makes the stop? Derek Robinson makes the tackle at the 14-yard line. Yeah, he plays special teams too.
38-yard punt by Owen. That's a good punt because it gets McKinney inside the 15. But I almost thought Royal had called a fair catch because he stood there for a second or two and then spun off the hit, and I was waiting for the flag, but then he started running, so he didn't call a fair catch. So I don't know what the initial hesitation was for.
I believe he was waiting for the defender just to run past him a little bit, try to go around him, and then he could make his move, and he couldn't move away from big Derek Robinson, who got him at the 14-yard line. That's where McKinney will take over with 3:14 left to go before the fourth quarter. Down 10-0 to Hebron. Here's a handoff. Brett Anderson to look out right up the middle. I thought for a moment he had a seam, and he does get out to the 19-yard line, so a gain of 5. I thought Brett Anderson really had a shot right through the middle, and he kind of hesitated a little bit.
Yeah, it seems that's the hesitation that got him because he had 4 and then hesitated on going left or right, and by the time he got to where he wanted to go, so did the defender. If he'd have just gone one way or the other, I think he would have been okay.
2nd down and 5. Alcorn shotgun formation. Drops back, fakes it over to the left side now, throws it downfield. Has Michael Peters. Caught it at the 38. He has the 50. Dragging a man down to the 40 inside Hebron territory. They're going to mark him at the 36. A great catch by Michael Peters. Had to wait on the football, grabbed it, and came down on a 45-yard strike from Zane Alcorn. 1st down and 10 inside Hebron territory.
That's one thing that's been missing, has been that big play. And they had a receiver, didn't catch who it was, coming out of the flat, and Alcorn faked it to him, allowing Peters to get open down the sideline.
1st down and 10 for McKinney. They're going to hand off this time. Now Alcorn's going to keep it. Has 35 down to the 31-yard line, just shy of the 30. And that may give life to this McKinney Lions offense, which has struggled pretty much all night long since their first possession.
Well, and that's where they had been doing well, and then that first possession ended in interception. They get a big play. They're inside the 35. Now it's up to the offense to get further and put some points on.
3 receivers, right side, shotgun. This is going to be a throw out to Maxwell, and the screen pass has the first down, 25-20, out of bounds at the 18-yard line. He is knocked out there. They may say the clock may say he was down before he reached the sideline, but now he's the clock has stopped with 1:50 seconds on the clock before the fourth quarter. They are moving the sticks. The ball is now at the 18-yard line.
Well, it's a gain of 12 on the pass reception. That's almost identical to what they did before, except opposite. And this time Maxwell comes out of the flat onto the right side, but instead of faking the pass to Maxwell, they threw it to him, and he had a good block downfield, went around that block and got the first down. And by the way, that is the 4th first down from a pass for McKinney today, and usually they're lucky to get 1 or 2, but the offensive passing of McKinney has really been semi-effective today, 94 yards passing for Alcorn.
If you listen to Bill Parcells' interview a couple of days ago, he was talking about the importance of having a pass-catching back and saying that he would really like to work on that with his Dallas Cowboys. Marion Barber showed some of that in college, and he thinks that he'll be able to do some of that. Well, right now, it is very important for McKinney to be able to have different options like that, and Calvin Maxwell shows that he can come out of the backfield and make a couple of catches for you, as he does right there.
Well, that defensive coordinator for Hebron is not happy.
It is first down and 10 from the Hebron 18. McKinney trying to knock on the door right here. 3 receivers left side. Alcorn shotgun formation. Brett Anderson in the backfield. Jeff Fuller split out wide right. Alcorn's going to run it up the middle. Running right guard and has about 5 yards up to the 12. Well, they're going to mark him, say his knee hit about the 14. Flag down. This is late. This is probably a personal foul.
Just depends on who it's against, and if you had to roll the die, you think it's Hebron.
Let's check down with Teddy Saffo down on the sidelines. Teddy, have you seen what's going on down there as far as penalties? And, we had a big one right there, and I don't think
well, right now, it looks like the McKinney sideline, they do not think it's against them. It looks like it's possibly against Hebron. This team has been rather undisciplined, especially in the second half. I also noticed that Derek Robinson was taunting Coach McVay on one of his runs, so could very well be against them.
Well, this actually is going to go against McKinney, as they will back this one up, and this is detrimental to a club that's trying to get in this football game, down 13-0. You can't make mistakes like that in a football game like this. You're fighting for your life here. Not so much for the district race, because you still have a ways to go and you can win out and be in the playoffs, but you really need to step it up in games like this, and making mistakes like that's not going to do it.
It'll be an 11-yard penalty.
Offset eye. Alcorn back to pass, looking for Fuller, wide open at the 10-5. Stick it in the end zone. Put it on the scoreboard. Alcorn to Jeff Fuller. It is touchdown time in Texas. With 1:26 left to go in the third quarter, McKinney is on the board.
23-yard touchdown. Fuller somehow got past the cornerback. I think they were in zone coverage. The safety did not get over in time enough, and Fuller caught it just beyond the safety's stretched hands and found an easy romp into the end zone after that.
Kleinenberg on for the PAT after the huge touchdown pass. Alcorn to Jeff Fuller. The snap is high. It's very high, and this time Ryan Packard's going to try to run it in. He's very close. No indication yet. And they're going to say, oh, this is very, very close. Still no indication. They're going to confer. The referees are going to converse right at the stripe, and now they're going to say it is a 2-point conversion for McKinney. A very heads-up play by the holder for McKinney. It was a bad snap. The holder for McKinney is Ryan Packard. He picked up the high snap. Kleinenberg went on to kick it, kind of played loosey on Charlie Brown, took it out from Kleinenberg, ran towards that pylon, and somehow snuck in there. 13-8, our score here. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Hawk Stadium. It is an electric Hawk Stadium on the far sideline as the McKinney Lions are pretty much going nuts for the Beef O'Brady's kickoff here after that drive by McKinney. It started at their own 14, so an 86-yard drive, and it took 5 plays to do it. Here's the high. Beef O'Brady's kick's going to be fair caught at the 27-yard line. Let's go down to Teddy Sappho. Talk about that last touchdown.
Actually, that last play, he did get in. There was a little bit of controversy because he stuck it past the back part of the pylon, and of course, the ball crosses that part of the pylon. It does count. The previous penalty. At first, we did think. Actually, at first, I thought it was against Hebron. However, the Hebron player did instigate it, but one of the McKinney Lions retaliated, so that's why the penalty was called on them. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot. It's always the second guy who gets caught, isn't it?
Well, it's weird because it was only marked off for 11 yards.
First down and 10 from the Hebron 27 in their own territory. 1:26 left to go, third quarter. Hebron on top, 13-8. And this is going to be a handoff. That's not Robinson, and he's going to be – I'm going to tell you what. He was thrown down for a loss. Brandon Ogletree absolutely takes DeMarcus Houston to the woodshed.
Well, now, DeMarcus Houston trying to get over on the sweep to the left side. At this juncture, you wonder with the 5-point differential, why is your star running back not in there?
The ball was at the 28. Mark off a loss of 2 back to the 26. It looked worse than that as Ogletree and company really took care of DeMarcus Houston. Remember, Houston had a couple of fumbles last week, one on his own one at the McKinney North one. So watch for that. Shotgun formation. Aubuchon drops back 3 steps, looking across the middle. Now wants to run, and Casey Cooley has him at the line of scrimmage. They close the gap, and it will be third down and long as that defense is starting to come on strong now.
And you got to be careful right now in the secondary. Eddie Morgan initiating coverage with Desiree Woods, but he was beyond that 5-yard buffer from the line of scrimmage. If they wanted to, they could have gotten illegal contact in the secondary. But they didn't see it or didn't think it was worthy of calling.
That will probably be the end of the third quarter as there's 6 seconds, 5 now on the clock. 3, 2, 1. 13-8. We are in store for a barn burner here at Hawks Stadium. Hebron in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. It is fourth quarter time in Texas. Hebron, Texas to be exact. 2 receivers right side for Hebron, moving right to left now. Third down and 10. Big stop here is what McKinney Lions need on defense. Ryan Packard will cover Desmond Murph on the near sideline, and this is going to be a toss right side. Houston has the 25-30, cuts it inside and down at the 31-yard line. That's not going to be enough. It's going to be fourth down and punt time for Hebron, and they bring out the punt staff along with their punter, Taylor Owen.
Well, this is a weird thing. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here, because if you're keeping Robinson out because of a situation where he might be tired, you just had the end of the quarter. They had DeMarcus Houston in. Now, I'm going to applaud the coach if he's keeping Robinson out because of, discipline reasons.
Well, Robinson is in the football game now, but too little too late. It's the punt formation.
That's really odd.
Fourth down and 7, maybe 6.5, as Taylor Owen will stand at his own 16-yard line rather. Back deep is Darian Royal, and the punt is a high spiraling punt. Kind of end over end, though, and Royal's going to let it hop. Takes a Hebron bounce inside the 30, still rolling down to the 26, inside the 26, to about, inside the 26 and 25. That's where McKinney will take over with a chance to take the lead here, Brandon.
That's a 45-yard punt. That's a good one. Taylor Owen came in only averaging 33, but he's hit 2 39ers and now a 45-yard punt, so he did well. Got one stat for you. Coming into this game, for every passing yard McKinney had, they had 3 on the ground, but they've proven here that passing has been their bread and butter, if you will, because that last touchdown came on 2 very long passes of 45 and 29.
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Alcorn in shotgun formation has Brett Anderson standing to his right. Wants the snap, gets it, hands off Anderson. Nope, he keeps it up the middle, and now he jukes one defender at the 33-yard line. Ball's on the turf, but they're going to say he was down by contact. Makes his way up to the 33, so a gain of about 7 on the carry. And now an official timeout. They're going to talk something over.
Actually, we got a player down.
and that is Zane Alcorn. Ben Martinick is warming up as Alcorn is down at the 33-yard line. They're going to give him a gain of 7 yards, but more importantly, he is down at the 33. Martinick loosening up his left arm, talking with head coach Todd McVeigh on that sideline over there. And now he's warming up. Someone passes out to an injured McKinney McKinney Lion over there, and that's Greg Miller.
Well, looks like he's favoring that left ankle. He's up, but he's having to walk off on the arms of the trainer. He is not putting any weight on that left ankle.
Yep, he is. You're absolutely right. No weight at all on the left ankle. We'll talk down to Teddy Saffo. Teddy, what's the mood down there on the sidelines now?
Actually, on that swing play, actually, no, I'll get the breast into you after this play.
All right, we'll talk to you right after this one. 2 receivers either side. Second down and 3. 10:35 left to go in this football game. McKinney down 13-8. Bad snap. Martinet picks it up. He's in jail, and he is busted at the 20-yard line. It is Ryan Leonard absolutely destroying Ben Martinick back at, they're going to give him progress to the 21. A huge loss there, and already McKinney suffering the effects of Zane Alcorn not being in the football game.
Well, loss of greater than 10, but if you look at it, he fumbled the snap. Now, while he is in shotgun, and Alcorn did that twice already, you wonder if Alcorn's in there if he doesn't fumble that. Loss of 12.
Alcorn back in shotgun formation. 3 receivers to the far side, moving left to right. Martinick gets it, hands it off to Brett Anderson, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. And that's going to be a loss to the 18-yard line, a loss of 3 on the play, and now McKinney is in trouble. After what looked like a promising start to this fourth quarter drive, they have gone nowhere but backwards since Alcorn left the football game with a ankle injury. We presume it's an ankle injury. He didn't put any weight on it coming off the field. And it'll be punt formation for McKinney as Martinick will stay in the game now and punt this one away. He will stand inside his 5 at the 4-yard line. 9:13 left to go in this game. Down 13-8 to Hebron. They're going to snap it back to Martinick, who gets it off with his left foot. It's not a very good punt at all. Matter of fact, it's going to go out of bounds at the 38-yard line in McKinney territory. So as Brandon's counting that one off, and they will mark the ball at the 38. So Hebron will take over with 38 yards to go before pay dirt, up 13-8 with exactly 9 minutes left to go in this football game.
Oh, a 19-yard punt there.
So with Hebron on top, 13-8, they've shot themselves in the foot a lot with holding calls, penalties, personal fouls. They could really do some damage here if they score in this fourth quarter on this drive.
And with Alcorn out.
Aubuchon back in the game, and Derek Robinson back in the game. He is he's the lone setback, and they're going to try to throw the ball, air it out here to Stephen Harris, who makes the catch at the 34-yard line, a gain of about 5 as they mark it actually to the 33. So second down and 5, clock rolling at 8:44. McKinney really somehow needs a big turnover here. They need to get the ball back. With Colin Frank's leg, you got to think that Hebron could extend this lead to 16-8 if they could get it down a little bit further. Well, they're in range right now, to be exact. He's hit from 52. Right now, it would be about a 50-yarder if they were to bring it out now. Second down and 5. Handoff Robinson up the middle. Adonis Graham is right there and throws him backwards along with Adam Fairborn. Great play by that McKinney Lions front 7 as it'll bring up third down as they might give him forward progress, but I don't think they are. They're going to spot the ball at the 33 again. Robinson, who had walked all the way back past the 50 in disgust, now has to come up in a hurry and sets himself at the 41-yard line. 3 receivers out wide right. 7:41. This is going to be a toss right side. Robinson cuts it up inside 30, close to the first down, and now has it at the 26-yard line. Now give him the 25. It'll be 1st and 10 with 7:34 left to go in this game.
Well, they could really use a stop there.
It seems at times when Robinson, he will sometimes run the football and he'll be good, but sometimes like that play, when he gets the ball, you can tell he turns on that 5th gear and he's not going to be denied, and he had that kind of mobility on that play. It seems like he has different variations of things he wants to do. Sometimes he'll run hard, sometimes he won't. That time he did. 1st down and 10 for Hebron, 7:19 and rolling here in the 4th. 25 yards away from pay dirt, and this is going to be the option play out to Robinson. Has a lot of room on the right side and gains about 7 inside the 20. There's a personal foul at the end of that play. Stephen Harris is over there talking to the official, and we'll see who that one is against as McKinney is clapping. Adonis Graham is over there clapping his hands.
And this would be typical of what Hebron's done all night. Get inside good field position, have a 2nd and about 3 or 4 inside the 20, and then throw a personal foul in the mix and move him back some. That'd be typical to what they've done.
Teddy Saffo, what's going on down there on the sidelines? Any indication of the foul here? And now it's going to go against Hebron. It is a personal foul. And Teddy's down there talking to Greg Miller, trying to find out exactly what it is.
Actually, one of them did hit Adonis from the McKinney Lions, and the referees did see that, and they obviously marked it back 15 yards, but they're still discussing a little bit right now. But it looks like the penalty is going to be against Hebron.
That will mark the ball all the way back to the 33-yard line. This will be the 4th play of the drive. Aubuchon looks to the near sideline for the play, or maybe the play count. 3 receivers out, wide left. Stephen Harris in the slot. 1 man in the backfield, that's Robinson. He's going to throw out this side. Stephen Harris makes the catch, looks upfield and has nowhere to go. A nice play on the open field tackle by Kyle Hagelin. And I believe I'll have to check and make sure. We don't call Hagelin's name a lot, but it is, in fact, Kyle Hagelin on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, no gain on a pass play, so you like that. Now you've got 3rd and long. And again, it goes back to McKinney watching Hebron shoot themselves in the foot. We'll see what they have here for a 3rd and 18, but you need a good stop here.
Don't count out Hebron on a play like this, in a situation like this. They can make the big play at any time. Chris Miller is split out wide left. Aubuchon drops back 3 steps, looks over across the middle. Now wants to tuck it. Is rolling out right side. Has the 30, has the 25, slips 1 tackle, is close to the 1st down, but I think he was out. I believe he was out of bounds before that. They actually are going to mark him out at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, and that's run was sprung because Derek Robinson took the feet of Brandon Ogletree out and a good, clean, open field block, and that allowed Aubuchon to spring out and get back to the original line of scrimmage and to get 6, 7, 8 yards more. A good block by Robinson there, normally known for his running ability.
Well, Colin Frank will come back out to attempt another field goal. This will be a 38-yarder.
Frank 2 of 3 so far, field goals made, 25 and 21, and he missed from 39.
This one from the right hash, 38-yard attempt. It is up, it is very high, and it does limp through. We have a new score, 16-8 now. 6:09 left to go in this football game. Hebron on top. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Hawk Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Saffo. Getting ready for the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. Teddy, real quick, tell us what went on down there.
Well, actually, on the personal foul play, Adonis Graham, he got hit by one of the Hebron Hawks, and thus that's why the Hawks got got the 15-yard penalty. I do have an injury report on Alcorn. Take it back to me after this.
All right, the Beef O'Brady's kickoff is going to land at the 3, and it's going to be picked up by Eddie Morgan, who's going to stand in the end zone and down it right there. So McKinney will take over at their own 20-yard line. Teddy, talk to us.
And also, too, the injury report, I also saw that Zane Alcorn, he's out of the game right now. He took a shot. What happened was he got his feet caught in the turf, and he took a shot, so therefore he twisted his ankle, and that's why you saw when he's walking out the field, he couldn't put any pressure on it, but he is receiving treatment right now on the sideline as we speak. But right now, Martinick's in running the offense.
Thanks, Teddy. How big could that 2-point conversion turn out to be if McKinney scores here? It is an 8-point game. If McKinney scores here, they're more than likely forced to go for 2, which would absolutely be bonkers. 2 receivers either side. This is Martinek, the quarterback, handoff Brett Anderson, and I'm going to tell you what, Ryan Leonard has been all over the field tonight for the Hebron Hawks, and he drops him for a 2-yard loss. 6 foot, 270 pounds. I said 2 yards, make it 4, all the way back to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, they're having a tough time with them over there, but you'd think they need to go back to the passing game. But with Martinek in, not into the rhythm of the game, you wonder.
Well, here is Martinek, stands at shotgun formation at his 10, rolls out right side, looking to pass across his body, now tucks it and runs and gets out to the 18-yard line. So a gain of 2, all that work and only a gain of 2, but McKinney will take it. It'll bring up 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, there's good downfield coverage, and you wonder how there was good downfield coverage when they were coming in on the blitz. They sent 6 guys, forcing Martinek out of the pocket. However, the remaining 5 guys in the secondary all had pretty good coverage on the receivers downfield, forcing Martinek to tuck it up and run. Remember, Martinek used to be the starter at the beginning of the year.
3 receivers out wide left. Michael Peters ends it, and Jeff Fuller ends it on the right side. Low snap. Martinek picks it up, throws it out to Calvin Maxwell over his head and incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down. Martinek just a swing pass, and he couldn't complete it as Maxwell just sailed right over his head. So it'll be 4th down and punting time as Martinek will go back once again, down 16-8. 4:44 left on the clock. Is it automatic that you punt here?
I think so, yeah. You got plenty of time. Let your defense do it, because if you don't get a 4th and 12, McKinney would watch Hebron take over inside their own 30. You don't want to do that. On that play, Calvin Maxwell, 5'6". Martinek just needs to touch it up and lead him a little bit, but he threw a bullet right at him, and it was high.
Hebron taking no chances, doesn't send anybody back, and Martinek's going to kick an end-over-end kick, and Michael Peters is going to be there to down it. It takes a great bounce for McKinney. It is going to roll all the way down near the 30-yard line, in between the 30 and the 31, and that's where Hebron will take over. A great punt this time by Ben Martinek, and with 4:30 left to go in this football game, Hebron on top 16-8. McKinney Lions defense is going to really have to step it up here.
Well, the best punt we've seen all night is a 51-yarder there for Martinek, and it could not have come at a better time. Now, ideally, what you'd like to do is put it in the hands of your defense, because that's really been your strength all year, and just say, hey, guys, let's get a turnover and return it to the house or something. You know, have J.D. Dowling pick up a fumble and run it to the right side, or Eddie Morgan pick one off and run it up.
4 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. Derek Robinson is in the backfield. Stephen Harris in the slot. Desmond Murph split out wide to the left. And Brandon Onu wide to the right. Brian Aubuchon goes under center this time. And he's going to hand off. Now he's going to fake the hand to Robinson, roll around the left on the naked bootleg. Has some running room and goes down before he can be lit up by Ryan Packard. And credited on the tackle will be Adonis Graham. He gains 5 yards out to the 36-yard line.
And a good gain there by Aubuchon, but the problem was it could have been a lot less, but most of the defense bit on the fake. You know, rightly so to Robinson. He is their offensive threat. But once everybody bit Robinson left, Aubuchon just went to his right, or rather the defense's right.
Harrison Murph near side. Onu split out wide right. Aubuchon, the quarterback, is under center. Robinson stands right behind him. 3:47 on the clock left to go in this game. Aubuchon gets it, hands off up the middle. Robinson is buried at the line of scrimmage. Off the pile is Adam Fairborn, and I'm going to tell you what, Mr. Fairborn just knocked out Robinson right at the 36-yard line. So 3rd down and 5 rather, and you really need to stop here.
That's only the second time Robinson's been stopped behind the line for a loss. He does have a couple for no gain, but Fairborn coming off that defensive end. At that time, he was on the strong side right side, or rather defensive end, and just nailed a hit.
This could be your ball game right here. 3:07 left to go. It is 3rd down and 6. Hebron at their own 36. Aubuchon rolls out right side, tries to get a block from Robinson. He's going to try to run for it. He is met and run out of bounds. On the far sideline, Adonis Graham makes the stop. I thought I saw a late flag.
And you heard the Hebron crowd would breathe an exhaustive sigh of relief. This would be typical to what they've done all night. Aubuchon stopped after around what would be a no gain. And if they can get another personal foul, McKinney would take over a great field position.
Well, it was a magnificent play by Adonis Graham, who probably made the play of the night. And to no avail, it is a personal foul against McKinney. And that will take Hebron all the way into McKinney territory at the 48-yard line, and 1st and 10 with 2:56 to go. Teddy Saffo, did you see down there what happened on that play?
I did see the whole thing, but however, though, the McKinney sideline, they're complaining that the play it was in the complex of the game because he could not stop his momentum while he was going out of bounds. So they felt it was a bad call, and I felt it was a bad call also as well.
So they're going to say it was against Adonis Graham hanging on a little bit too long on that play out of bounds. 1st down and 10. Robinson has the ball, cuts it up left side, has some running room, and has, I believe, another 1st down as he crosses the 40 and mark him down at the 39-yard line. He might be a little bit short. Teddy's right there. Teddy, is he going to get that 1st down?
They're going to mark it as a 2nd down. They're going to mark it as 2nd down.
So he comes up a little bit short. 2nd down and 1.
And that carry has now put Derek Robinson at 102 yards on the night. He's finally broken 100. Took him to the 4th quarter to do it.
There's a flag on the play. Before the play could get underway, it's going to be a false start against Hebron. So mark off some more yardage against Hebron tonight. They absolutely love to see that yellow hanky, don't they?
Well, if you want to know the total, that's their 9th penalty on the night for 80 yards. And they're just racking up the penalties and the penalty yards. Instead of having a 2nd and 1, it's now a 2nd and 6, and this is where they've struggled, yet they still have that 1 touchdown lead.
Well, the ball at the 44-yard line in McKinney territory. This is the 4th play of the drive. 2:03 left to go in this football game. And now there's going to be a timeout on the field. McKinney's going to take it. We'll be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. 2nd down and 6, 1:59 left to go in this game. Hebron on the move after the penalty at the McKinney 46-yard line. Aubuchon, shotgun formation, is going to hand off. Robinson up. He's going to keep it up the middle, pushing for yardage. Fights his way out to the 41-yard line. Short of the 1st down, it'll be 3rd down with 1:51 left to go in this game. A field goal would absolutely ice this football game. If you can create a turnover or somehow create a punt situation, if you're McKinney, you can get the ball back and have a chance to score. They're down by 8, 16-8 here. A 2-point conversion would tie the game, and it's by the luck. Or by luck, I guess. It was a high snap on the extra point after the touchdown for McKinney. Ryan Packard runs it in for the 2-point conversion, and that's really the only shot McKinney has. Is because of that 2-point conversion, the ball game would be basically over right now.
Yeah, and again, it was a bad snap that did it. We've seen a few bad snaps from McKinney's part. That's been their biggest weakness from a technical standpoint that we've been able to see. They had other things, like just a great defensive play from Ryan Leonard, for example. But now this is the situation. They just took their last time out to stop the clock at 1:51. Now the situation is you have to get a stop here. You do not get a stop, you do not win the game. It's that simple. You can let him get 2 yards. You cannot let him get 3 here. You cannot let him get to the 38-yard line.
3rd down and 3. McKinney down 16-8, 1:51 left to go in this football game. McKinney's played a whale of a game to stay in with the number 3 ranked Hebron Hawks in the Dallas Morning News poll. Stephen Harris goes in motion. They're going to fake to him. They're going to hand to him on the far sideline. He's got all kinds of room to run. 1st down as he's inside the 45-yard line, or 35 to the 34-yard line, and that's pretty much going to do it unless you can create a turnover here.
Yeah, an unlikely event because all Hebron has to do now is down it, of course, given the fact that we know how much that Brazel loves to run up the score or just keep his offense on the field and running, he's not going to down it here with about 1:30 left. You'd think he's going to go for yards, which could be helpful in getting that turnover.
First down and 10, letting the clock roll down here. 1:27 now. The play clock at 8 seconds. Robinson, the lone back, 2 receivers near side. Stephen Harris goes in motion again. This time they're going to give it to Robinson and fake to Harris, and Robinson has a good 6-7 yards out to the 28-yard line, and the clock's still rolling at 1:10.
I really hope that comes back to haunt Brazel by not taking it down. I mean, because, we saw the Philadelphia Eagles make it famous when they tried to run out the clock by running the ball, and the Giants picked it up and ran the way for the touchdown and the win. And that's what's happening here, basically, is they're going to keep giving it to Robinson, and if Robinson fumbles, an opportunity to pick it up from McKinney and Romp for a hopeful tying touchdown.
Well, you don't have to hand it off too many times. The play clock's at 5, and Stephen Harris is going to get the end-around reverse once again and takes it for another first down to the 21, and that seals the deal. 36 seconds on the clock, but more importantly, it is a first down for Hebron, and Hebron tonight is going to win this football game. They tried to give it away as many times as they could with as many penalties and things like that. They didn't turn the ball over except once on the Eddie Morgan interception. But McKinney played a whale of a game to stay in this football game. Hebron is a very, very good football team by evidence of last week what they did to McKinney North. And Abishon's going to take a knee and backpedal his way back to the 30-yard line. 16 seconds on the clock. That's going to do it. McKinney played a whale of a game tonight. We talked about it. They stayed in with Hebron. J.D. Dowling goes and talks to Derek Robinson at the 35-yard line. They exchange words and handshakes, and a lot might have been said on the field tonight, but after it's all said and done, you can kind of shake each other's hand and say good game, and that's what's happening right now. 16-8, Hebron on top of McKinney. We're going to wrap this thing up here in a few moments. Come back for the post-game show, maybe some interviews with Coach Todd McVay, and maybe a player of the game. We'll try to pick one back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.
You've been told to be there or be square. Well, now it's
Hawk Stadium in Plano, Carrollton area. The Hebron Hawks win tonight 16-8 over the McKinney Lions, and Teddy Sappho down on the field as Coach McVay is talking to his players. And you gotta feel for the McKinney Lions. They pretty much put it all out on the field tonight. Came up on the short end by 8 points to a very highly ranked Hebron team. And although Hebron tried to give it away at times with penalties, I think you said 9 penalties on the night, lots of personal fouls, lots of holding calls. However, they were able to hold Derek Robinson to 108 yards. We will talk to our True Image Productions player of the game, which we believe is Brandon Ogletree. And Brandon Ogletree probably has been deserved of that honor several times throughout this year as he came in tonight leading the team in solo tackles with 49. He also has a fumble recovery and an interception. And he adds to his solo tackles tonight as he absolutely took Derek Robinson to the woodshed on one particular play. And he made several plays tonight that will stand out for the Lions. 16-8, Hebron again wins tonight. Brandon is calculating the stats as we speak. Teddy is still listening in on what Coach Todd McVay has to say with his McKinney teammates, or his team, rather. As we understand some scores to pass along, we have some here. We have Justin Northwest losing tonight, or down. We don't have a final yet, but we have Lake Dallas on top, 28-6. We also had a halftime score of Keller Central over Frisco Centennial, 15-7. But that Lake Dallas score is going to be very interesting. If they hung on to win that, that's going to be a huge. That's going to have huge implications down in 9-4A. It's Teddy Sappho still looking for head coach Todd McVay over there, as I believe he has him now. Teddy? Teddy, whenever you're ready. And I believe
he's talking.
Still, I think he's ready, and it's. I think Coach McVay.
And now.
Go.
And now.
Now he's bringing over
ready, go.
Brandon Ogletree.
All right, guys, we have sorry what that was. We have both Coach McVay and Brandon Ogletree tonight. Coach, your team played very, very well tonight, but you guys lost by 8. What happened?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're in a dogfight with a perennial powerhouse football team rated, number 3 or 4 in the state, and it's 16-8, and our boys are all over those guys tonight, and I'm as proud as I can be of them, and I just got through telling them, but it ain't over yet. That's one that I told them, I didn't lie to them at the beginning of the week, said we're going to have to play our tails off, and we gave them everything we had. I can't be more proud of my kids.
Your defense was very aggressive tonight. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, that's what they've been doing for the last couple of weeks. They got something early on us. Our guys settled in and played ball, and again, they shut them out the second half, and besides a field goal, but we just came up a little short. That's all.
Brandon Ogletree, you played a fantastic game tonight. Most teams have had a tough time stopping Derek Robinson. You guys helped him to 107 yards. What did your defense do differently than other teams have done?
We felt like they were coming into the game. They were pretty one-dimensional. They ran about 80% of the time, so we knew as long as we read our guards, were taking the linebackers to the play every single play, and so they like to feed it to Dirk and they like to feed it to number 21. And we just, for the most part, we contained them, but they got away from us a few times.
What do you have to do to prepare to win out district?
I think it's time for the defense to put the team on its shoulders a little bit. The offense is really stepping it up, but we can't allow as many points as we did. That's the bottom line.
Great game tonight, Brandon. Thank you very much. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy Seffo, down on the sidelines. Great questions there, and we heard from Todd McVeigh and Brandon Ogletree, and the defense has carried this team pretty much the past several weeks. Offensively, yes, they've stepped it up. They desperately need Chris Wimbish back as soon as he can get back. But I tell you what, without Chris Wimbish, and if you said that, hey, the McKinney Lions are going to play this close with the Hebron Hawks come without Wimbish, I think a lot of people would have been surprised. But I tell you what, Calvin Maxwell, not a bad night.
Well, he only was able to carry the ball 5 times, but he did have a couple receptions out of the backfield, which Wimbish doesn't do a lot of. But you talked about them being just that one-dimensional with Chris Wimbish. Zane Alcorn today showed that he could throw the ball. He had 123 yards passing, and that was a situation where you weren't really